Hi y'all, good morning. I am on the water fairly early today. That sun is getting on up though. It's a little after 8 a.m. Not quite a sunrise trip, but much earlier than what I've been doing this winter, that's for sure. But we're getting ready to drop anchor right now. And me and you gonna do some catfishing today. So let's get our dumbbell here. I'm just gonna drop it over the side. And then I'll show you kind of where we're at and what we're gonna be doing today. And we'll see if we can't catch us some fish. I'm excited to hopefully reel in a few today. I've got us some shad that I caught yesterday we're going to be using for bait. And we're going to use the light tackle today. I've been really into the light tackle stuff. Going to be doing a lot of that this coming year, I feel like. I've just been so into it. I've enjoyed it immensely. Hold on a second. I've got get this dang anchor rope around the cleat. Every time I'm talking to a camera, I feel like something is more difficult than it should be. There we go, Lordy days. All right, we got our anchor rope there around the cleat. So we anchored down. I'm gonna just set us up here in front of a creek that I have had some success in over the last month or so. I think I fished here twice in the last maybe 2 months. I've caught fish both times. So this is a very large creek. You can see some birds off in there in the distance. We had a shad kill with our cold snap. Now it's warmed up since the cold snap, but a lot of the shad, like you'll see them, they're struggling, like they're still, it's a shad smorgasbord, man. There's shad everywhere and they all seem to be struggling and dying and stuff. So I see some birds off in there in the distance. But this is a big creek. It's got some depth. Right now we're 45 feet here and we're kind of off of a point. I have set us up, the land right over here comes off and drops off and makes a point that you can maybe see there on the screen. My screen's all dirty and everything. But we're kind of off the edge of this point in this creek, and hopefully as catfish work out of the main river into this creek to feed on the shad, they're going to come to our baits first and be willing to eat. Now, yesterday when I was out there netting shad, I fished for a little while afterwards, after I got done catching the shad, if I get my words out. I didn't do any good. I caught 2 fish, and then I sat there for an hour and a half or so just twiddling thumbs, and I just couldn't catch anything more. And the fish I caught, now neither one of them were super big, but they were both, I mean, their bellies were just, I mean, huge and tight because they had been eating so much shad. Like they're just gorging on all of this. This is thread fins that I have in this bag. This is one throw, and I had the whole floor of my kayak. You can see shad scales all over my kayak. Like I had a massive haul with one throw, and I threw out most of them back off the kayak and kept a bag full here. But they're all thread fin, kind of in this anywhere from 2 to 4 to 5 inch range. So I'm gonna try to find us maybe a couple of the bigger ones like that. That's about the biggest size right there. That's probably 4 to 5 inch range. But I feel like these fish that are working into the creeks right now, this is what's in the creeks. This is what they're going to be eating. So it makes sense to use this size of bait if that's what they're working up in here feeding on. So I think we're probably going to have a day where, I mean, obviously if you're seeing this video, we caught some fish. But I think it's a day where we could possibly struggle a little bit just because of the amount of food that's currently available to these fish that's just easy for them to catch. Like it's one of the things about using cut bait, why I think it's so effective for catfish, is that it's easy. Fish are drawn into the scent and they've got a freshly dead meal just sitting there for them, right? It's easy. Well, right now, with all these shad dying, In the creeks, they've got tons of easy meals. So it's hard to compete with that. Now, once the shad kill is done, you know, and all these dead and dying shad are gone, well, here in a couple weeks, man, the fishing will be a whole lot easier because, you know, a lot of the food source will be gone. But right now, while it's a smorgasbord down there for them, it can be a little difficult. So we're going to give it the old college try. You know, the old saying, you can't catch them from the house. So we're gonna get out here and try today. Lord, you got a dang knot here with you swivel or something. What the hell? Every time we try to get a video going and talk to a camera here, folks, something's going wrong. Let me talk about the rig right quick too before we drop this down. So this is basically a downsized Carolina rig. This is my favorite rig here for suspend fishing. I use this even on my heavier tackle stuff when we're going after tournament fishing, stuff like that. Like I use bigger leaders, bigger sinkers, etc. This here, you know, I'm about to cut this because I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know how one of y'all sabotaged me. You done tied a knot in that dang sinker. Ain't no cause in you doing that. I don't know why you'd set me up for failure here first thing. But, you know, this is just downsized. Everything's smaller on this setup. Doesn't mean we're going to catch smaller fish with it. Just means that we're going to have a lot more fun on the lighter gear when we do hook a big fish on it. But this is a 2-ounce egg sinker that I'm putting through the line right there. I've got a swivel, 15-pound fluorocarbon leader. I've got a number 1 size shiner hook, very small thin wire hook, which I think is important when you are using lighter tackle rods, because the lighter, gosh dang it, I am having the hardest time. We just struggling right here. First thing, man. Can't even get our baits in the water there. There we go. Trying to get that old knot off, get it out the way. When you're using lighter wire hooks, it's a big help for these rods with a soft tip. It's easier to stick a fish, to get the hook point past the barb with a thin wire hook than it is with a thicker wire hook. Now, if you're using heavy tackle like my normal Catfish Gear, my signature series rod, for instance, there that I use, it has a very stiff tip. So I can get the thicker hooks to penetrate fish with it, no problem. But these ugly sticks that we're using today, the tips are very flimsy. And so in order to be able to stick a fish, man, you got to be able to, you know, either drive it home somehow or hope that they just crush it. And I want to try to put the odds in our favor by using the smaller hook. So we're going to put a couple pieces of that smaller shad on there, the head and the body section. And I'm going to drop this down. Again, we're 45 feet, so I'm going to let it hit bottom and raise it up so it's about 43 feet deep. Just kind of off the bottom. As fish swim in and out of this creek, they can have it right there in their face. And we're going to sit here a little while, y'all. We're just going to see if fish work in and out of this creek. I'm hoping they do. They, like I said, they got a smorgasbord buffet in this creek for them anytime they're hungry. But like I said, man, yesterday I caught them shad. I was on Fort Loudon. And I went out and I fished in front of the creek, and I got them 2 fish, but I mean, their bellies were just tight. Like, I mean, you could feel they were just gorged on them shad. But then I sat there and sat there and sat there and nothing. And my toe was hurting so damn bad. For those of you who follow my Facebook page, I'd post a picture of my toe. I dropped a desk on it. And so I ended up taking a few days off because I couldn't put my foot inside a shoe. And so yesterday was my first day with wearing anything closed-toed. I'd just been wearing flip-flops around the house. But my toe was throbbing so damn bad because it's kind of tight in these boots. So I just, between not doing any good out there fishing and my foot hurting so bad, I was like, I'm just gonna call it a day. But we're back out here today. I'm gonna bust out my sunglasses, and what I'm gonna do today, some of you like this, some of you don't, I'm gonna leave the camera rolling. We're gonna go just uncut here today and see what happens. And you see a real fishing trip, start to finish. This is gonna be a shorter trip for me today, just because my foot's hurting now, and I know it's gonna be throbbing the longer the morning goes on. In my pedal kayak here, the pedaling itself, and I took this out yesterday too, I was getting Shad, the pedaling doesn't bother my foot. It's just being how tight it is inside the boot, because my toe's still swole. And especially any pressure on the tip of my toe. Like even laying in bed, I can't lay on my back in bed, because just the sheets and bedspread, the weight of it on the tip of my toe, I can't tolerate. So I'm hoping I get healed up here pretty quick. On a positive note, I did get the damn desk moved after dropping it on my foot. I got it moved. I got the new desk in, so my office is looking swell of redoing all that there at the house. Put up new shelves, new desk. I had to make space for all my action figures and stuff, So I got all that squared away, but just crippled myself in the process. But nevertheless, we out here, we set up. We're gonna have a beautiful morning. It's a little chilly right now. It was like 36 degrees when I left the house, but this afternoon is supposed to be in the 60s. So we've got some amazing weather for February. It's just, I decided to fish this morning because it's flat calm right now. The wind is supposed to kick up this afternoon. And I said, well, I'd rather be a little chilly and not deal with any wind versus be warm in the afternoon and be struggling to hold position or do what I want to do because it's so windy. So nevertheless, we got a beautiful stretch of days here, and I hate that I've missed out on some because of the toe, but yesterday was the first day I even wanted to attempt to slide my foot into a boot. So hopefully the worst is behind me here, and we can, keep progressing from here. Hopefully the worst of winter is behind us. You never can tell in February. In East Tennessee, where I live, we get some false springs where you'll have a warm stretch, some 60-degree days. Undoubtedly, we'll get some blooms to start happening on the trees, and then we'll get another big freeze. So who the hell knows what's going to happen? But right now, the weather's nice, and we're going to take advantage of it. And we got a little something there on the screen. Something's around our baits down there. But I wanted to come back here. Like I said yesterday, I fished Fort Loudon. It's closest to my house there, and I had to get us some bait. But I think we fished this creek twice this winter. I think it's twice. But both times I've caught good numbers of fish, and I've caught some better quality fish. And so I know there are some fish in this area that are working in and out of this creek to feed. And usually in the winter months on the lower end of the reservoirs, the larger creeks will fill up with bait. And so it's just it's an easy food source for fish to go in and get, and still have quick access back out to deeper water, which the deeper water, and I think maybe some people kind of think that these big catfish will maybe live in shallow water all the time. They don't. Now, maybe on some bodies of water that like has a thermocline and stuff, fish will be forced up into the shallows. But on these deeper reservoirs here on the Tennessee River, the fish spend the bulk of their time deep. The deeper water is going to offer the most stability for them. You get in these creeks here and you get in the shallows, there's going to be huge fluctuations in water temperature. I'll give you an example. So yesterday on Fort Loudon, I launched in the back of the creek where I was getting the shad, right? Water temperatures were 49 degrees. I go on out to the main channel. The surface temps out there was 42 degrees. That was a 7-degree difference in temperature. And fish are very tolerant. I mean, they're cold-blooded. They're very tolerant of a wide range of temperatures, but they don't like the sudden fluctuations. That's why we got the shad kill. We had that big cold snap come through, ice storm, and then the following weekend there we had the snowstorm here. But the big thing was the frigid cold temperatures. We had some nighttime temperatures that were down near zero, which I know for a lot of you, depending on where you live, that feels like a nice warm summer day. But here, that's very cold. And it happened so quickly that it dropped the water temperatures dramatically in a short period of time. And those shad that were up in the shallows, they can't take it. They don't deal well with it. And it ends up causing them to die off, causing the shad kill. So the catfish, these larger catfish, they're just like us. Man, they like comfort. They like a comfort zone, right? And so out there in the deeper water's not going to be as affected by these big temperature changes, right? It takes longer to cool water, or cool and heat water that's down 50 plus feet deep than what it does back in 2 feet of water. So that's where they're going to retreat to. They're going to go to where it's most comfortable for them. But they got to eat. And if there ain't food out there for them, then they're going to move up to get it. And so what I want to do today is to be out here toward the entrance of this creek, so that when fish move out, it doesn't matter if they decide to move up on this point to go search for food or move further back in this creek. Hopefully they're going to swim through our baits in the process. So, but I mean, there are bodies of water where you're going to find big fish shallow more frequently, especially if you've got a thermocline. Now, thermocline, when you get below a thermocline, you don't have much oxygen. So that's not a stable environment for the fish, right? So they're going to tolerate the temperature swings. They're going to put up with that more because they got to breathe. Not necessarily that they want to be up shallow and dealing with the swings, but they kind of have to be able to breathe. Like, oxygen's kind of a big deal, right? You go, I don't know how long a fish can go without oxygen, but us humans can only go a few minutes and then it's game over, right? So they're going to be more willing to move up in the shallows and possibly stay up in the shallows if they have to breathe. But out here, where we're fishing today, that's not an issue for them at all. There's no thermocline out here. They can go wherever they want and be just fine. So they're going to spend the bulk of their time down in the stable conditions. Really, out here, the only time you really get a lot of fish in the shallows, or big fish in the shallows anyway, for an extended period of time, is around the spawn. When they start, they'll move up, be looking for nesting sites and stuff. And then, of course, when they're on the spawn, they're in the shallows. But that's about it, man. The rest of the year, outside of that spawning time period, the rest of the time, I do my best fishing deep. It's not to say you can't catch a big fish shallow. Sure, there's going to be some days where those fish will go from super deep water all the way up to a foot or two deep, if that's where the food's at and they're just super active. Oh, something hit that rod. Got a little weight on there, don't we? We might be about to get our first fish. That's on, let's go ahead and pick up on that. Yeah, we got him. Number one. That's on the one where we had 2 pieces of that thread fin. All right. Well, that didn't take too terribly long. The camera's been rolling 20 minutes or so here. But part of that time was getting us anchored and getting us baited up. So we've not had an actual bait in the water too terribly long to already be getting the first fish. I think he's gotten our other line over there too. He went that way. He's gonna pull a little bit too now. We'll just take our time with him. With the 15-pound line, we're not gonna horse him. But that's part of the fun of doing this. That's part of the reason I'm into it, because it's just, it's a battle, man. It's more of a battle on the light tackle than it is the heavy stuff, where you can just kind of horse them up, kind of winch them in. Yeah, he did get in our other line over there, that old knucklehead. Come over here. Let's get you in the net, since you've got that other line. So far, you ain't all wrapped up in it, so I think we can probably get this undone pretty easily if you'll sit there and be cooperative. Now, this one here, he don't look quite as fat as the ones I got yesterday on Loudon, but he don't look like he's missed very many meals either, so he's got part of that head bait still on there, but we're going to switch it out. We're going to keep everything fresh today. Lord knows we got plenty of bait. Yeah, fish, you ain't getting no front camera time, but I've caught worse fish. He's a larger dink right there. Got the width of his belly, man. They're eating, man. They're living their best life down there right now, just gorging. Okay. Fish number one, y'all. Let's get this mess. Let's get this mess undone. I think that'll be an easy one, easy fix right here. One of the downsides of light tackle fishing, well, it ain't just light tackle. Any braid, mono is much easier to get untangled than braid is, especially the lighter pound test braid. Boy, that stuff, you get a fish, get all wrapped up in that, in this 15-pound braid, man, you pretty much got to cut it when you get right down to it. Like, you just got to cut it, start over versus trying to pick it out most of the time. That one there was pretty easy, thankfully. You tell the next fish we catch, though, don't swim that direction. We don't want them getting wrapped in the other line, and we don't want them getting wrapped in the anchor rope today. We ain't asking much of these fish. We need them to bite while we're out here this morning, and we need them to not swim through lines. It ain't asking much of them. But to hear these fish talk, you'd think we're just asking for the moon. They're very selfish creatures, aren't they? Well, I'm going to do with this one, just like we done on the last one there, we're just going to put a couple pieces, since these shad are so small, We'll put a head and a chunk. I'm gonna drop this down and then I'm gonna reel the other bait up and just make sure that that other bait didn't get knocked off in the fight there, since that fish got hit that line and stuff. We don't want to be sitting down there with a bare hook if we can help it. Let's see what we got going on here. I may just go ahead and put another bait on. Well, it's still okay. Hell, let's switch it out. We got this other one cut here, we might as well. And you might be thinking right now, well, Justin, you're using this light tackle. You've got these small, tiny baits on. All you're going to catch is small fish doing this. Man, I'm telling you, buddy, you'd be surprised. I have caught some really big fish on really small baits. I can't remember what year it was, but I was fishing off the bank and I threw out like a little quarter-sized piece. I think it was a drum that I put out. And it was one of my biggest fish of the year on just a little quarter-sized piece. And it was around this time of year. It was in the winter, but oftentimes in the winter especially, a small bait will get it done for you. But I really think more so than that, it's matching what they're eating. And like I said yesterday when I threw the net, I had one throw of the net. I had the whole kayak covered in shad, but they were all thread fins in that 2 to 5 inch range. I didn't get any gizzards. And honestly, there were so many thread fins yesterday. Even if I found some gizzards down below them, man, the whole net would be full before I ever got to them gizzards. But like, it's the thread fins that are struggling and dying in these creeks. So that's what these catfish are going to be eating right now. So if you give them what they're eating, I just think you got a better chance. So even the big fish that come in, if they're down there slurping up the 2 to 5 inch shad that's on bottom and dying and struggling and stuff, they're going to eat it. It's an easy meal for them. So don't think just because we're using the small gear and the small baits that we can't hook a monster out here today, because we absolutely could. Now, whether we land it or not, well, that's going to depend on how good a job you do reeling them in and netting them over here. But we're going to have an opportunity if a big fish swims through. And one of my goals this year for 2026 is to, go ahead and get it, buddy. Go ahead. Go ahead. I think he's probably got it. What do you think? Let's jerk his jaw right here. Fish number 2. All right. Well, in just a few minutes, we've already matched what I done yesterday afternoon on Loudon. And 2 fish going to be about the same size as what I got yesterday too. So nowhere to go but up from here, folks. So far, my toe hurts, but it's tolerable. It's more tolerable when you catch them fish. When you just sitting there and you go a long period of time, oh, it's a tiny little thing right here. Tiny little devil. When you go a long period of time though and you ain't getting a bite and you got nothing to do but think about your toe throbbing, it's not quite as tolerable as it is with, oh, hold on, this rod over here. Something's after that one. Get up in here, fish. Let's get you going so we can reel in. One of y'all grab that rod over there for me, would you? Grab that rod. We got some fish working through. Look, he's old crooked tail. Look at that thing. He's old, he's crippled like me. Let's send that bait right there back down. Oh. Y'all lost that fish while we were fooling with the one with the crooked tail. We'll see if he comes back for it. I'm just going to reel this one back up right quick. switch it back out. We'll have to check that other bait too. These smaller shad are going to be far more likely to get knocked off the hook in a fight, or just, you know, when a fish comes up, a small fish comes up there and nips it, they're going to be far more likely to rip it off the hook. So we're going to have to kind of check our baits a little bit more frequently than what we would if we were using larger baits, or even just more hardy baits, more durable baits. If we had something like skipjack or white bass, bluegill even, like those are a little bit more durable as far as getting stripped off hooks. These shad, especially the small shad, are kind of soft. They're kind of a softer bait, so we'll just have to check it a little bit more frequently. But ain't a big deal, because, I mean, we've got so much bait, not like we're going to run out. Anyway, like I was about to say, before that fish interrupted, one of my big goals this year for 2026, and every year I like to set goals for myself, just things that I either want to do, want to learn, want to get better at, whatever the case may be. I always try to set a few goals, but one of the things I really want to do this year is spend more time with this light tackle, really dial in the gear, dial in the best time and places to use it, and most importantly, I want to bust some monster fish with this light tackle stuff, man. Like, I want to catch some beasts on this stuff. I was fearful of it for a long time. I just never wanted the day to come that I hook that 100-pound class fish and it be on a small rod and small line. Like, yeah, that's the likelihood of me landing a 100-pound class fish. I mean, just let's be real with ourselves here. It's not quite as, the odds aren't in my favor. It's the old, was that the old Hunger Games quote? May the odds be ever in your favor. The odds are definitely not in our favor if we hook a 100-pound class fish. But with that said, man, I've caught a lot of big fish on my ultralight rod where I use 2-pound tests. Like, you catch a 20-pound drum on 2-pound test, that's a battle, man. It's a long fight, and it's a battle. And what an accomplishment. I always feel, anytime I land, whether it's a drum or a carp or, you know, even a 3-4 pound smallmouth bass, like when you land something that's significantly heavier than your line, there's just a sense of accomplishment with it. But so I mean, if we hook a monster, a true monster on the light tackle stuff, we're going to have a chance with it. It's just not as good a chance as what we're going to have with the heavier tackle. But the feeling of accomplishment would be so amazing if I could actually ever do such a thing. But we're going to put some time into it this year, 2026. And because I kind of got into this kind of toward the tail end of last year. And so this year we're going to have a full run of it. And undoubtedly we're going to hook some huge fish throughout the year. And I just want to see how I do. And I want to see too, and this is kind of one of those you don't know what you don't know type things. I mean, we just got to put some time in and figure it out. But like, hold on, something's after our left rod here. It's a very light bite. He's still after it. Very gentle. He's just down there. He's down there just caressing that bait. Make your mind up, fish. We got stuff to talk about here. Okay. He said he'll go. No. Well, let's reel it up and check it. He was very, very light. Very finicky right there. Everything still looks good. But one of the things that we just don't know, and I kind of started to maybe believe it a little bit last fall. Because here's what happened last fall here in my area. We went through a stretch where we didn't have hardly any rain. And when we're not getting rain here, our water gets real clear. I mean, I'm talking several feet of visibility. And he's back after it. Make up your mind, fish. Quit interrupting me now. There he goes. If you're going to interrupt me, you best get hooked up. He did. So I will allow it. We're getting some action, buddy. Right off the bat, man. That's what I want today. I want to catch some fish. I want to catch some big fish today. The more fish we can catch, the less I'm going to think about my damn toe. Come up here, fish. On a positive note, too, side topic, with my toe, I posted that picture there of it on Facebook after I smashed it. And would you believe that picture made 20 bucks? Just from people looking at it and commenting and stuff. $20 on a damn picture of my busted toe. You believe that, fish? This fish can't believe it. He said he's never heard of such nonsense. He don't even know what 20 bucks is. That fish, they got no money down there. The only currency they have are shad. They get down there and trade each other bait fish for goods and services. That's what that fish told me. It's all bartering down there in the catfish world. No actual forms of currency. But yeah, that damn picture of my toe on Facebook, 20 bucks. So I guess we got some lemons out of lemonade. Or lemonade, that ain't right. Lemonade out of lemons? That's what I'm trying to say. Lemonade out of lemons. I'll get it right here directly. But what I was trying to say about one of the things we're going to figure out this year by doing a full year of this lighter tackle stuff is we're going to figure out if it matters or not as far as catching fish. So like I was saying, last fall we had a stretch of time where we just wasn't getting any rain. Our water got just crystal clear. I mean, several feet of visibility. And so when I was in my other kayak, my bigger kayak, Hobie Pro Angler, there were days where I was taking the light tackle rods and the heavy tackle rods and putting them side by side. And the lighter tackle was getting a lot more action. They were catching more fish and catching bigger fish. And the common sense argument for that in my mind is like, well, if it was any other species of fish other than catfish, and you were fishing in crystal clear water conditions, you would downsize. You would use lighter tackle, lighter line, smaller hooks, smaller baits, like you would downsize everything. But with catfish, we never do that. With catfish, we use the heavy stuff all the time. That's the culture of catfishing. And in the defense of the culture, like, there's a reason why it works. People run these trot lines. People run jug lines, limb lines. They've got all kinds of contraptions to catch catfish, right? And they catch fish. on these big lines, big hooks. So there's precedent set that it works. But here's what I want to know. Does it work the best? Maybe it don't make a difference at all, but boy, it sure, I mean, there were some trips this last fall where it sure seemed to matter. Like there were some days that if I didn't have these light tackle rods with me, I wouldn't have gotten a video. So I'm curious to see as we go, give it a full run, like give me a full year to use this setup. And I'm not going to use this every trip. Now, if I'm fishing a tournament, I'm obviously going to use the heavier gear because, I mean, I can't take the chance of losing that big fish on the lighter line. Like, I mean, tournament day, you got to swing for the fences, right? And there's going to be some other times, like if I'm doing certain things or certain places. Hold on, we got another tap there. So it's not going to be, I'm not going to be exclusive to the light tackle by any stretch. But we're going to use it a lot more. He's pulling on it. But the point is, we're going to be using it a lot more in 2026. And over the course of the year, we're going to figure out, does it make a difference? Is it going to increase our number of catches? Is it going to increase our size of catches? Are we going to have less days where we don't catch any fish? Oh, he may have just got himself hooked then. The rod tip kind of, yeah, we got him hooked then, by gosh. He done gone and done it. You done gone and done it, fish. I can't use the word, but you know what I mean. He fornicated around and found out. Can't use the other word on here. I said that word a lot when I dropped the desk on my toe. I used some, I don't even remember what all I said, but I used some interesting cuss word combinations. We'd have hurt this fish's feelings if he had heard me yelling that day. Come up here, you old thing. You're another tiny one here. We're going to need you to get your bigger kinfolk. Let them know we're here. What do you think, fish? Does it matter? If the water's real clear, or even if it ain't clear, do you care if we're using 50-pound test or 15-pound test? Does it make a difference to you about hook size, fish? He ain't gonna tell me nothing. He won't even give me the hook bait. Here, you take that. Take that bait for your efforts right there. That's a little gift from me to you. Don't say I never give you nothing. Go on now. He got a free meal out of me. He wouldn't give me one bit of information, but I give him a free meal anyway. But I'm just, that's one of them things like, you just don't know what you don't know. And the only way to know is to test it. And you can't go out and test it in one trip. You can't test it on even one season. Like, you just got to put the time in. And it's granted, it is kind of, unless you're putting the light tackle and heavy tackle side by side every day, it's hard to know for sure if it makes a difference or not. But I think just because I've done this for so long, if we have a phenomenal year with the light tackle, we're going to know, like, okay, we're going, oh, hold on, y'all. I thought something hit, okay. I thought something hit me while I dropped that bait down there, but if he did, he's moved on. But I mean, I think just, we use the light tackle this year, use it more, and we just compare this coming year's catches to years of the past, and we see, does it matter or does it not? Do I catch a similar number of fish? Do I catch a similar number of big fish? We'll see. We'll see over the course of the year. Now, granted, the to truly test it would be to put side by side. But another thing that I'm wanting to do for 2026 is to hopefully fish the bulk of my trips in this kayak, my Hobie Lynx. I love this thing. I absolutely love this kayak. Of all the kayaks I've had, this has been my favorite to catch fish out of. It is not the best kayak for actually catfishing, though. Like setting it up and rigging it out and stuff. It's a bit of a challenge on this kayak. So I'm hesitant to use the heavy tackle in this kayak for anything other than dragging. And when I'm dragging in this thing, I'm only using one rod. So when it goes down, I can grab it. If we tried suspending baits like we're doing today with the heavy tackle and the drag locked down and stuff, which, I mean, you kind of have to have your drag pretty tight when you're using the heavier gauge hooks. I fear the whole rod holder, everything's going to get ripped off. That one's going to get down too. Here we go. That was a little bit better takedown right there. Oh, he's gone. Did he take our bait? He did not. Oh, I see what happened. Look right here. That right there is what cost us. You see that scale right there on the hook point? If I've told you once, I've told you 100 times. A scale on your hook point or your barb will cost you a fish every time. And it just cost us one right there. Daggone. But I worry with the heavier tackle in this, I fear we're going to have problems. We got a problem right here. If this fish, if he don't stay hooked up, he's going to have a problem. Got him. Y'all try to keep this one hooked, okay? He wants to come up here and get him some camera time. It may be the same fish that hit the other one over there for all I know. But I mean, we're getting several bites right here. We're getting some attention, man. There's a lot of fish here. We ain't got the quality yet. But I mean, we've got some numbers right now. And I'm okay with that. Like I'm fine sitting here. I'd rather be sitting here catching fish than not. I do hope we bust a big one today, though. Hopefully a few of them. Oh, he's all wrapped up in that line. Look at this. He got all wrapped up in it. And go ahead, you free now. Go ahead and act a fool. We'll play him out a little bit. And they get all wrapped up in that line. Sometimes they'll quit fighting. And then thrash around, you get them here in the floor of the kayak. You done? Let me go ahead and grab that net on this one. Come on, fish, slide on in there. I gotta fix this net. It needs to be this afternoon's project. The screw come out right here, so I have to grab it like this, or else this part will come free from the handle. We gotta have to find us another screw or just drill out the hole and run a bolt through there, ain't we, fish? I'll take that hook back, please and thank you. Maybe. There it is. Yeah, a little bit larger dink anyway. We'll see you, buddy. Thanks for the good time. Well, go on. There he goes. He's getting down there now. There he goes. And we can see him. I don't know if you can see him on camera or not with the glare, but like, I could see him several feet down. So like, I mean, we've got some clear water conditions out here right now. Now the creek I was in yesterday getting the shad, it was muddy where we had some rain, but out here in this particular creek, like, it's probably muddy at the back of it where there's actually water running in. But as long as this creek is, and with us being out here at the entrance of it, the water out here is still very clear. So Look what you have done. You knocked the lid off my cooler. Lord almighty. Get the net here. Look at that. The things I have to do for y'all. I can't believe you knocked the lid of that thing off there. Thankfully, I got it before y'all let it drift away. Goodness gracious. Okay. Now, boy, y'all have just done a number on me today. You tied my leader in a knot there first thing, made me look silly on camera. Now you knocked the lid of my cooler off. Put that thing back on there. All right. There we go. Okay. But yeah, this water out here today, though, I mean, it's clear. I have to believe it matters a little bit. I have to believe that. We'll find out. We'll find out this year. But yeah, this kayak, though, I love it. And even though it's not necessarily the most suited for catfishing, oh, look here. We got another one on this left rod. Let's lower this down. One of y'all, let's just go ahead and grab this thing. He's got that thing. One of y'all lower that other bait down while I reel in this fish. Or take the rod while I lower it down. We need to be a team here. This is a team effort today. If I can get any work out of y'all. We don't want him getting back here in this anchor rope. We'll get him up here. We'll drop our other bait down before we land him. We're getting a lot of action here, man. This is a lot of fish here, first thing. I'm definitely impressed with the numbers so far. They're definitely working into this creek this morning. That's another one, though, about the same size as we've been getting. Let's set him there a second so we can get this other bait dropped down. I'm just gonna stick with the same setup, man. It's working. Just taking these smaller shad, cutting the tail off, and then cutting them in 2 pieces and putting them on the hook. Like this setup's working, man. I just think it's because this is what they're eating. This is the size of bait right now that's prevalent and dying. We got you, fish. Oh, we got to get rid of this one here. He's about to poop. You got your prairie dog in there, fish. You need to get out of here. Go wipe your hind end. Get on now. You ain't doo-dooing up in here. He left both pieces on this one. I'm just gonna. Both pieces are on. They've barely been down there any time at all. Let's just send them back down. But yeah, this kayak, this Hobie Lynx, man, I love it. Even though it's not ideal necessarily for catfishing, it is a ton of fun to catch fish out of. And that's what I'm about, man. I want to have fun. I want to have the most fun I possibly can when I'm fishing. So I want to try to do more trips in this kayak this year. Look right here. My God, we just dropped it down. What the hell was that? Something just hit the bottom of the kayak. Did I imagine that? I didn't imagine that. Something just hit us. Something just hit my pedals. Was it that fish that we just let go? Did he just swim off or something? I'm feeling bumps in the night here, folks. I don't know what the hell's happening. It didn't rock the kayak like that shark did that swam under me when I was down there in Florida a few months ago. Now that was truly scary. It's a wonder I didn't get flipped when that happened. But yeah, this kayak though, I love it. And even though it's not necessarily the best for rigging, and I'm kind of limited, I can basically fish 2 rods when I'm suspending or 1 rod when I'm dragging, that's going to hamper my ability to catch the most numbers of fish sometimes. But I would rather have the most fun possible with less fish than just get, because I mean, if I just wanted maximum number of fish, hell, I'd go buy a boat and pull planer boards, you know, so I could fish 10, 12 rods at a time. Like, you know, that's going to probably put more fish in the boat, or hell, just run commercial gear. Run the damn trot lines and jug lines, stuff like that. You're going to catch more fish doing that, but it won't be as fun. I want to have fun. So I want to spend the bulk of my trips in this thing this year. And so I've kind of had to modify my style of fishing a little bit. Like when I'm dragging, instead of dragging 2 rods like I do with my Hobie Pro Angler, and sometimes I'll even drag 2 and suspend 2 in that thing. Well, now in this, I drag 1. When I'm suspend fishing in this, I got to use the light tackle. So lighter line, lighter, fish. Lighter drag, all that stuff, keep rods getting ripped off. I've modified my style to accommodate the fish. Or, I mean, not the fish. Oh no, I just lost that fish. Speaking of fish, I just lost that one. But I've tried to modify my style to accommodate the limitations of the kayak. And I think it's been good for me to do that. And it's allowing me to enjoy my time on the water a little more. Because it is more fun. The smaller the kayak, the more fun you're going to have. And this thing, it's very small, very lightweight, and very maneuverable. This whole style being how it is, like when now we're anchored today, so the fish can't take us far. But if a fish shoots off to the left over here, man, this kayak's going to be spinning to the left. Like we're going to be on the move quick because of how this thing is designed. So it's fun. Oh, and I'm all about having the fun. So I want to spend more time in this kayak this year. I want to spend more time with the light tackle this year. Another thing we're going to try, and I should have done it today, honestly. We're going to try the knocker rig again with the light tackle. For those of you who are longtime viewers of the channel, I ran a little experiment. I can't remember when it was. Maybe 2017, maybe 18. I honestly can't remember. It's been 8 or 10 years ago now. But with the heavier gear that I was using, I was running knocker rigs instead of the Carolina rigs. And if you're not familiar with a knocker rig, it's kind of it's the same concept of a Carolina rig, but instead of your sinker being above a swivel, so a Carolina rig, you got your sinker, swivel, leader line down to a hook. With a knocker rig, there's no swivel. Or if you do have a swivel for a separate leader, bottom line is your sinker sits on top of the hook, right on top of it. And I had good success with that rig. I liked it a lot. What I didn't like, though, was just the constant questions about it. People were pestering the hell out of me. Even though I would explain it in videos, I was just getting pestered nonstop. Why are you using that instead of a Carolina rig? Why'd you switch? you know, this, that, and the other. Well, fortunately now I don't have any comments on these videos, so now I can't get pestered. Just use it and explain it, and if people can't listen in the videos where I explain it, then it's just on them, not on me. Who's coming behind me here? Oh, a boat over there is coming. But I want to try that, and I want to try it with no leader. Run straight braid down to a hook with a sinker right above it, and see how we do. One of the things, I mean, here's the thing. We all know that braided line is less abrasion resistant than mono or fluoro. That's fact. But will it make that big a difference? I don't know. Now, a few years ago, when I first got my live scope, I was going out and I got on a bite in the winter months. We got another one right here. Boy, they are just, man, these fish are working through thick today, buddy. We have got a lot of action here. I mean, we've only been filming an hour. How many fish have we caught? Today, I mean, we're already getting good numbers of fish here. I mean, my day, we're having a good day, even if we don't get a big one, but I hope we get some big fish working through. But I mean, this is a lot of fish for an hour, especially only fishing 2 rods. Well, speaking of the second rod, down it goes. One of y'all grab that, would you? Oh, I think he come off. That and there come off. That's another tiny one here. No, I think he's still on there. Grab that. I mean, did he swim up in the water column? He did. He hit that bait and come straight up. I saw my line just going crazy over there with not much weight on the rod tip. He had come up in the water column with it. Yes, sir, man, we're doubled right here. Yes, sir. Come here, fish. Come here now. You want to be landed first, he said. All right, I'll accommodate you. He's got to one-up his friend over here. I'll take that hook back. Maybe. There, okay. See you later. We'll see you around, good buddy. I'll tell you what, let's do. Before we land his friend, let's just go ahead and rebait this rod. Try to be efficient with our time. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one too. There we go. The bad thing about that double is I done broke my train of thought. I don't remember what I was talking about now. Oh, I know what it was. I was talking about the knocker rig. So, to go back to like using straight braid. So, when I first got the live scope, in the winter months, that first year, I got on a bite where I was catching catfish on artificials. I wasn't able to replicate that bite at any other time of the year except the winter. But I caught a bunch of fish on artificials in the winter months. And the artificial baits I was using, I was running on straight braid, no leader. And I didn't have any issues. Now, I was using heavier braid. I was using, I think it's 30-pound test braid, whereas this braid here is 15. But I didn't have any issues breaking off. And so I want to try that. We're going to just tie our hook directly to our main line with a sinker right above it. And the size of the sinker, I'll probably vary. I mean, we want to use as small a sinker as possible. Now, a day like today, I've got 2 ounce on here today. See, you need to go eat, fish. You're the skinniest fish we've caught today. You need to go get you a bologna sandwich there. I think we're just going to reuse this bait again, folks. It's still hooked good, still looks good. Ain't been down there long. I will rehook the end piece here. Yeah, let's just send that back down. Probably won't be down there long anyway. But the main thing with your sinker weight is you want to keep your bait at the depth you want it. So if you're moving, or even if you're anchored like we are today, but maybe it's a day where the wind is blowing and the kayak's getting spun around a little bit, like you want, as the kayak gets spun, if your sinker's too light, your bait's going to come up in the water column. So we want to use enough weight to keep it down, but like a situation like this, where we don't have any current out here this morning, it doesn't take much weight to keep it down. If we're fishing in a day where we've got some current flow, we'll have to adjust our sinker accordingly to be able to keep that down. Especially, it's not so much a big deal if you're drifting with the current, but like if you're anchored and there's current, like just for instance, on my heavier setups, I use 8 ounces of lead. Why do I do that? Well, it's because most of the time, if we have current flow, it's about a half a mile an hour. And if I'm anchored in half a mile an hour current, that 8 ounce sinker will keep my lines vertical under me. Or if I'm trolling in slack water and I'm moving about a half a mile an hour, 8 ounces will keep me vertical. That's why I use the amount of weight I do. So we just want our lines to be straight down under us when we're suspend fishing. Now, I think we maybe have one right over here. The kayak's kind of moving a little bit. Our line's at an angle. I think we've got another one. It's one bite after another right now, folks. We're shellacking them here. We're whacking them and stacking them. This is going to be another dink, though. It's small fish in here, but man, they're in here by the gazillions. And with the slider tackle and the smaller hooks, when you get fish like this, messing with your baits, instead of them just sitting down there chewing on them and messing up your baits, they actually get hooked. They can actually get these hooks in their mouth, and you can actually reel them in, instead of just down there and just be down there cussing them because they're messing up your baits. Give me that hook. Give me that. Open up. That hook will pop right out if you'd open up. There we go. All right, well, let's switch this one out for these others down here. Head in the chunk. We're going to stick with it. But anyway, I'm curious. You know, that's another one of them things. What will our hookups be like with the lighter gear? Will running just straight braid main line, will it matter at all? Will the fluorocarbon leaders, does that help with it, especially like it being a clear water situation? Does it help? I don't know, but we're going to try it. We'll play with our sinker size. Days like today, we'll run a really light sinker. If it's a day where we have to run heavier stuff due to current flow or whatever, well, then maybe those days we go back to a Carolina rig. Because we don't want our sinker, we don't want too big of a sinker on top of a small hook. Get another one right here. I mean, we can barely bait one hook before the next fish has got it going down. We have definitely got an activity period going on right now. I didn't know what would be happening first thing this morning. I don't fish many morning trips in the winter. I honestly, I thought twice about coming out this morning because, I mean, I knew it was going to be warm this afternoon. It was just going to be real windy. But I'm glad we come out here now because, I mean, we've just, I mean, I don't know how many fish we've caught now, but, I mean, we're just wearing them out. I'll take that, sir. Another dink, man. If we wanted us a fish fry today, of course, I wouldn't eat nothing out of here, but we got plenty. Just grab another handful of these. As we're going through them so fast, might as well just go ahead and get them ready here. Probably helps too that I keep knocking them tails off in the water there. We're kind of chumming the water every time we drop baits down, which is probably helping draw in more fish. So I don't know, you know, it just goes back to being curious, having questions, trying to just figure out the best method, the best system. It would be less, I mean, if the knocker rig is effective on the straight braid, you eliminate 1 knot, 2 knots, yeah, because you got 2 knots on your swivel, and you've got knot there on your hook. So you basically eliminate 2 knots of potential points of failure with the light tackle. So as long as the sinker isn't impacting the hookups, and it didn't on the heavier tackle. I was using the 8-ounce sinkers with 10-aught size hooks and didn't have any trouble with the hookups when I was running the knocker rigs on the heavier gear. So I wouldn't think it would be any different on the lighter gear. My biggest thing with it is just the fluorocarbon leader versus straight braid in the clear water situation. That's what I'm curious about. But we're going to run it. We're going to try it, see how it goes. It'll either work out or it won't. But we're not going to know if we don't try. Ain't nobody going to do it for us. I'd be doggone. I mean, look over. I mean, oh, well, lost that one. Hell, I wouldn't want to have 4 rods out here today. We can't keep up with 2. Let's fix this back. All right, let's send that back down. But yeah, the other thing that's coming, working on it now, is the rod situation. So right now I'm using these ugly stick rods. These are inshore model, and they're okay. They're not great. The cork on the handle is garbage. I mean, I haven't hardly used these things at all, and they're already falling apart. So I'm not impressed with the cork, but I don't expect good quality on this type of rod, so that's not a huge surprise. The tips are a little bit more flimsy than I would like, but I mean, for what they are, it's hard to beat an ugly stick. But I would like a, I would change things about these rods. And here's the thing, when you're trying to find the perfect rod, it can get expensive real fast. I mean, these rods here were like 90 bucks. Tried them. They're okay. They're not exactly what I want. Let's say I go get another rod, $80 to $100, and I don't like it. Then you go get another one. There's another $80 to $100. It don't take long before you're a few $100s in and you still don't have exactly what you want. And you can't tell, like you can go to a tackle shop, hold a rod in your hand, shake it, you know, pull the tip of it over. You don't know till you get on the water with it. You don't know. So I reached out, when I got into this last year, I reached out to my buddy Daniel, who owns Catfish Sumo, and he made my Gollywhopper rod there, my signature series, my heavy tackle rod. And I said, Daniel, here's what I want to do. I want a light tackle rod that's got some, I want a stiffer tip, because I mainly, you know, this is what I like to do right here. I like to suspend fish, right? So I want a little bit stiffer tip, but I still want a lighter action rod. Like the fish that we're catching so far, I want that rod, man. I want to see it doubled over. Like I want to have fun with these smaller fish, but at the same time, I need enough backbone that when I hook a 50, 60 plus pounder, I need to be able to get it in. And I was like, here's the thing, Daniel, like the perfect rod for what I want to do probably already exists. I mean, with the number of rods on the market, it has to already be out there. But it's going to cost me hundreds of dollars of sorting through rods that don't really do what I want to find it. I'm like, what, Daniel, why don't you just make me what I want? And if it works out, Catfish Sumo will have another rod to sell. I'll have exactly what I want, made exactly how I want it to be, and he'll have a new product to sell. So we've been working on it. And I don't know, I don't know how long this process is going to take. One of the things about, and this is, well, I guess I was just ignorant my whole life, not coming from that kind of background. Like obviously now I do this YouTube as a job. This is how I make a living now, making YouTube videos. I'm very fortunate I can do this now. And I've done this for the last few years. But prior to that, I was a nurse. And prior to being a nurse, I had just normal retail jobs, warehouse jobs. Like I've always been, prior to YouTube, I was always an employee. Now I'm kind of, technically, I guess I still am an employee. I just work for myself now. But I've never been I've never had any job before where I've had to create a product. So I never knew that side of things. Like I've always been a consumer. So when a new product comes out, if I'm interested, if it's something I want, I purchase it, right? I don't know the backstory of how that product came into existence, how long it took to get that. Like I had no clue how all that stuff works. But after becoming friends with Daniel and him running Catfish Sumo and kind of seeing the behind the scenes of how that process works, it's very frustrating, honestly. As somebody who's impatient, like when I want something, I want it now. I don't want it 6 months from now. I don't want it a year from now. I want it today. And that's how our society is now. I mean, if something's on Amazon and I order it today, I can probably have it to my house tomorrow. Maybe this afternoon even, depending on the product. So when I want something, I want it now. But when you are, let's just take this rod, for instance, that we're working on. So I get with Daniel, and I show him this rod, and I'm like, here's what I like about this. Here's what I don't like about it. Here's the changes I want made, et cetera, et cetera. He takes that information. He gets on the computer there, designs it. This fish is going to design a hook in the mouth. One of you's reached down there. I'm tired of reeling in fish. Go ahead and handle this one for me. He's got the kayak on the move though, don't he? Look at him. He's taking us off. He's taking us on a, oh, I pulled it out of his mouth when I reached down there and grabbed it. Let me see that hook point. Oh, he's on that one now. Let's drop this one back down. That one's still hooked good and everything. Well, he's on this rod though. He said he didn't want this bait, he wanted the other one. He's a picky fish. You just can't please these fish sometimes. You give them nacho cheese Doritos, they'll say they want Cool Ranch. And I don't know who the hell would pick Cool Ranch over the nacho cheese, but these fish would, just to be contrarian. I want to get you up here, fish. I'm going to tell you the process. This fish wants to know the process of getting a rod manufactured too. He's interested. He told me he was. Most of y'all probably ain't, but for some reason you listening to it, so you about to hear the story of just how frustrating it can be getting a product to market. Come here, fish. There you go. These fish today, I mean, their bellies are tight, but they're not like the fish on Loudon that were just huge bellies for their size yesterday. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the shad kill here ain't been as bad as what it was on Loudon. I don't know. I ain't fished enough lately with between the cold weather we had. I missed time, and then I finally got back on the water there and of course busted my toe. I just ain't been able to fish much lately. So I'm not the best person to ask right now of what's going on. But anyway, so I basically tell Daniel what I want. He gets on the computer, does the computer side of things to like kind of create it there. Then his manufacturer then gets to work on making a prototype, I guess, like a sample, trying to match the specifications that Daniel has given them. So that process takes time. Well, then you get that sample, and they'll usually send a few of them. And then you start kind of testing them out. You put them on the water, you catch some fish with them. You torture test them. Put them in these extreme, and you'll see some rod companies do this, right? You've probably seen videos of somebody using a catfish rod to pull a truck or lift something heavy or whatever. You know, that's the kind of thing you do to test these rods, because what you absolutely don't want to happen is you have a rod made, you sell it, and people take it out on the water and they snap them in half. Like, you don't want that, right? So you want to make sure what you got going on is up to the standards. So you torture test it. And you basically intentionally try to break it to see if there's anything wrong with it. Is there any failure points? And so you do that, then you get back with the manufacturer again. You're like, look, you got this stuff right. I like this, this, and this, but this still needs to be worked on. And sometimes you'll get one thing dialed in and it'll affect another. So you got to go back and you got to keep tweaking. And so you submit the changes, they go back to work, make more with the changes, send those to you, and you go through the same process again. And eventually you do that enough times, you get things dialed in exactly how you want. But that process takes time. And it's expensive. I guess I just never thought about it. I was just completely ignorant about it. Like, I go to the store, I buy a product. Like, I don't think about how that product was made and whatnot. But in reality, like, it's expensive for a company to bring a product to market. Like, you've got the design, the manufacturing. Once you get everything dialed in exactly how you want, then you have to order a ton of them to get the cost down. You can't order, like, when we make this new rod. I say we like I'm doing anything. when Catfish Sumo makes this new rod, like, you can't just order 10 of them. Like, you got to order a few thousand of them. And so there's cost with that. And then once you receive the rods, where are you going to put them? They take up warehouse space. It ain't like if you buy a few thousand packs of hooks, that doesn't take up a ton of space in a warehouse. But you buy a few thousand rods, That's a lot of storage space. And then there's no guarantee that the product's going to be successful. So it's a huge risk. Anytime any company comes out with a new product, it's a huge risk for that company. Now, what most of these companies try to do is, I mean, of course, you've got your mom and pop type companies that can basically do one or two products very well, right? But your bigger companies, they're trying to put out as many products as possible. That way, if one or two of those products fail, and I don't mean fail from like a quality standpoint, but like fail as far as sales go, like they're not getting the sales that you would hope for, that's going to be offset by some other products that are maybe home runs and get more sales than you would hope for. But nevertheless, it's still it's a big time commitment, it's a big financial commitment, and it's a big storage space commitment to bring a product to life. And that's just one of those things, I guess, because I had never been in that world before. I'd never seen that side of things. I never knew. And it's as somebody who doesn't have the most patience. Now, don't get me wrong. If I'm sitting out here waiting on a fish to bite, I can be very patient. But when it comes to something I want it now. I don't want it a year from now. I want it now. And so that's one of the things I've kind of had to just come to terms with. It's like nothing's going to work on my timeline. Nothing's going to happen as soon as I want it to. It was like that when we made the Gollywhopper rod, man. Like, with my Gollywhopper rod, it's got the extendable handle. Because if I'm fishing in a kayak and I'm setting down, I want a short handle. It's more ergonomic, right? You don't want a big long butt end when you're setting down, because then your arm is extended straight out. It's not natural. You want to bring your elbow into your belly when you're fighting a fish. Make it like a bicep curl. Not with your arm extended out. But that short handle, if you're fishing off a boat or off a bank, that short handle, it's not as good when you're standing up reeling in fish. Then you want to put that, because here's the thing, when you're sitting down fighting a fish, it's all arm. Like it's bicep. That's it. Your legs, your butt, your back, all of those larger muscle groups, like they're eliminated from the equation because you're sitting down. When you're standing up though, you want that longer butt end on the rod handle because you are engaging your butt and your legs and your back and all of that. It's not all arm. So we wanted to be able to have an extendable handle. I want a short handle when I'm fishing in a kayak, and I want a longer handle if I'm in a boat, and an even longer handle when I'm fishing off the bank. I want to basically make it a surf rod to be able to do longer casts. Well, that kind of thing ain't been done in the catfish world before. So you kind of had to design it from scratch. And the first thought was, make it collapsible. Make the handle collapsible, right? So it's all one handle that just extend out. And there are some collapsible rods on the market, like travel rods and stuff. But that was immediately a problem for the catfish rod, because as a catfisherman, you're going to be putting your rod in a rod holder. And if you're suspend fishing like we're doing today, there's going to be some downward torque, right? Like there's going to be some torque on that rod butt that's sitting in the rod handle when that fish buries the rod tip. Well, if you've got a collapsible handle and one of the joints happens to be like, say, right there on the rod holder, you can crack the piece right there or crush it, and then it messes up the rod. So, immediately that's a problem. So then you're like, okay, well, now we gotta like come up with a way to either bolt that in or screw it in. You know, and then it's like, well, okay, what are you going to do with the handle pieces then? I mean, you're going to be fumbling this out in the water. What if it goes overboard? It needs to float. Like, there's just all these things. And then, like, when we did make them where they're going to, like, screw in, it's like, well, how long do you need to make the screw? So that it, you know, like, there's just all of these things. And so it takes time. Like, you design something, and you have problems with it. So then you got to send it back to the manufacturer and be like, okay, you got to make these changes. And then they do it again. And you got another problem. And so then you got to do it again. And it ends up taking so long to get it done. It was incredibly, incredibly time consuming. And so, anyway, that's kind of where we're at now with the light tackle deal. It's like we're in the process right now of getting everything dialed in, but it's just, it never works out to where you do the computer part of it, send it to the people who are going to manufacture, and you get the perfect product on attempt number one. Like, it never works out like that. Like, you have to go through numerous iterations of it before you get everything perfected how you want. And then even still, there's fear. There's concern, right? Because, and you see this oftentimes with kayaks, with cars, with any new product that hits the market. The first generation of it almost always has problems once it gets into the consumer's hands, right? We got another one on here. Left rod goes down. I feel like the left rod has gotten hit more. I don't know why that is. Because the kayak was facing the other direction at one point, and we were still getting the left rod. I don't know what it is about the left rod today. But yeah, like it just never works out where the first iteration is going to be perfect. And then once it gets on the market and people start using it, and they start using it in ways that maybe it wasn't designed for, or ways that you wasn't thinking about, then you can also run into problems. Like it happens. I can name you, gosh, I don't know, a bunch of different kayaks that's had problems on attempt number one. Bonafide, Hobie, Old Town. Like how many times has a new kayak come out and the first generation of it has the whole, like Hobie, for instance, man, they were cracking around the pedal drive slot for a while. They had to reinforce that. Then the Hobie 360 drive, what a nightmare that was for them. Like people just kept tearing them damn things up. Like, I mean, it was just, but I mean, it's things that's happening that you can't necessarily prepare for as a manufacturer until they get into the hands of the consumer and people start using them in ways that you just wasn't planning for. So there's fear with that when you launch a product. It's just, you just don't know what is going to happen. So anyway, it's in the process. It's in the works. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm hoping this year, but we'll see. We'll see the next iteration of this rod. We will see how close it is to perfection. And again, like I said, I'm sure the perfect rod for what I want to do is probably already out there. I just don't want to spend hundreds of dollars to find it when I can have Daniel and his people make me the perfect rod and probably make it cheaper. Because the thing is, a lot of times you're paying for a name on these rods and stuff. Y'all bear with me. I got snot dripping out my nose here. All this weather changing and stuff. Got my sinuses tore up. I have to believe whatever the perfect rod is, I feel like we can beat the price. I mean, hell, even these ugly sticks here, these ugly stick inshore, they're $90. I don't know what the end price of our rod is going to be. It's too early to tell at this point because the product ain't finished yet, and until it's finished, we're not going to know exactly how much it's going to cost to make. And of course, then a lot of that too is dependent upon how many we order, any tariffs and all that crap, you know, at the time of placing the order. Like, there's too many unknowns right now to come up with a price that's set in stone. But I have to believe we're going to come in well under the price of what these ugly sticks are. So it's like, if I could have Catfish Sumo make me exactly what I want to my specifications and come in under the price that I would spend, even if I could find the perfect rod right out the gate without having to buy several to figure it out, well, then it's a win for everybody, because then hopefully people that want to do what I'm doing or want to use a rod that I'm using, whatever the case may be, will hopefully be able to get a better deal on it. So, you know, it's just a challenge. I want what I want, and I want it now. That's the thing, man. Like, I want what I want when I want it. But I just never realized, I never knew the process of designing a product and getting it in people's hands. The time, the expense, how many attempts it takes. Like, it's just, I mean, I guess in my mind, and this is going to sound stupid to a lot of you probably, but like, in my mind, I just always thought, well, an engineer designs a product and they build it and it pops out. I guess I never really thought, like, well, you gotta build it, then tinker with it, rebuild it, tinker with it some more. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just a dummy. It just ain't my world. There's just, whatever it is you do, you get experience, you learn to do whatever job it is that you do, and then all the other jobs out there, it's just something you don't think about, I guess. Oh, well, here's another example, kind of on that topic, that I had to learn the hard way with YouTube, right? So, like, prior to this YouTube channel taking off, me being able to do this for a living, like I said, I was a nurse. So my entire career, from the day I started work at age 16 up until I quit nursing to do this, I had been a W-2 employee, meaning I worked for somebody else, clock in, clock out. They give me a paycheck. They handle all the taxes, payroll taxes, you know, all the Medicare and federal income tax, any state tax, depending on where I was working, etc. They handle all that. And then at the end of the year, I'd get a W-2, which do your taxes. Maybe you paid a little too much, you get a refund. Maybe you didn't pay enough, you owe a little bit. But it was always within a reasonable amount one way or the other, right? Well, this fish is going to learn the hard way about taxes. His tax is he's about to get reeled in if he eats a bait with a hook in it. All right, fish, I'm going to stick it to you like Uncle Sam sticks it to us. Yep, he's hooked up. Boy, somebody's over there firing away. They're going to spend $50 in ammo before we get this fish up. I don't know if that's coming on camera or not. I got the fancy pants microphone today. I don't know if you're able to hear that or not over there. Somebody's practicing for the Civil War that's coming. Let's see what we got here. He's going to be another small, but he's fighting pretty hard. Yeah, he fought good for his size, but he is another small one. No quality thus far today and the time that we've been out here, but boy, the quantity has been outstanding. Come here, fish. Let's see what you got going on in your mouth right there. Look at that sore in his mouth. He's been kissing on the wrong girl. You'll learn, fish. You can't just fool around with any woman now. You gotta watch yourself. Fish learned a lesson the hard way, didn't he? But yeah, like, my whole life, I was a W-2 employee. Well, you start doing this YouTube crap. YouTube don't take out any taxes on you. You get, at the end of the year, you get a 1099 form that shows how much they've paid you. And then you're responsible for taxes. And if you're a 1099 individual, you got to pay quarterly taxes. Uncle Sam, they want their money. Well, on top of that, you got to pay self-employment tax, because when you've got an employer, they're paying part of your Medicare and Social Security and all that. When you're self-employed, you're responsible for all of it. One of those things, I didn't know that. I mean, why would I? I had never ran a business before. And this is the IRS, I know it seems silly, a YouTube channel, a business. It really is. The IRS treats it as such, so you have to treat it as a business. And so I had no skills. I had no knowledge of how to do this kind of thing. Like there was a ton of stuff. Like the first 2 years that I was kind of full-time on, and I had made a little bit prior to, I started this YouTube channel, I think I posted my first video into 2015 maybe. I wasn't trying to be a YouTuber, I didn't even have a computer at the time. I had an iPad, and it was out of storage space, and I had some video files, because I'd got a video camera as a birthday present. And I had some video files. Oh, we got a fish over here. You let it go. But I was like, I didn't want to delete them files, and I didn't have any more space on the iPad, so I was like, why don't I just stick it on YouTube? It's kind of like free storage space. This is back before the cloud and all that came into, or if there was a cloud, I didn't know about it back then. But YouTube was free. I never thought anybody would watch, but they did. He's back on it. He may have it now. He does. Let's reel in another one. I mean, this is insane. We're just one fish after another. We've had very, very little downtime today. Very little downtime. This has been amazing. You fish have been, I'm barely thinking about my toe throbbing in this boot fish. I'm going to send these fish a thank you card for taking my mind off my toe. Goodness gracious, fish. You're another small one, though. Yeah, you're a small fry. Get on out of here. Let's go ahead and, we may have to torpedo that one. You all brought that one up a little too quick. Let's get him in the net here. And get him in the net. We'll send, oh. No, he made it on his own. There he goes. I thought we was going to have to kind of launch him down in the water a little bit. Get him down. Let me grab some more shad. Get another handful and throw out there. What was I saying? I was talking about the taxes, but what was I talking about, taxes? Well, this fish over here, he's going to give me a minute to think about it. We got another one on here, folks. I mean, it's insane. They just keep biting. This is, I mean, what a good day. I needed a day like this. All the being cooped up in the house lately. First from the weather, then my toe. Like, I needed a day like this. I needed a win, man. Come on up here, fish. We're gonna get you released, and I gotta rebait 2 rods before your friends down there run off. We may actually be able to drop these baits back down. He left both of them on the hook. Open up. Open up. He just flung water in my face when he rolled around like that. I wonder if he got water on the camera. I ain't checked the camera lens in forever. Hell, we might have water all over it for all I know. There we go. Now that one right there is kind of fat for his size. Look at his belly. Now he is all swolled up. Let's check these baits. Yeah, we're gonna just reuse these. We'll drop those back down. Oh, I know what I was saying. Yeah, so like YouTube, I wasn't trying to be a YouTuber at the start. It just kind of happened. But I mean, my first video was like end of 2015. I didn't make any money at all on YouTube until like, I think it was 2017, I got my first check. But even that year, I didn't make much. I made like a few $100. Like it wasn't life-changing money. It wasn't something I thought was ever really going to amount to anything more than just a hobby. But as time went on, this crap started to grow. And I started to do a little better. And then by 2020, it was at a point where like, okay, I think I can do this. And of course, 2020 is when the COVID hit and all that. We had all that mess, which was a terrible time to be a nurse, just from all the nonsense going on and all the uncertainty. Like nobody knew really what we were dealing with when it first happened, when COVID first started and stuff. So it was a terrible time to be a nurse. And meanwhile, I was doing well enough on YouTube. I'm like, I think I can do this. So that's when it really became a business for me. And I had to start learning all of these skills that I didn't know I even needed, like how to run a business. How do you do taxes, the legal stuff? Like, how do I get trademarks on my logo and my brand name? Like, how do you do that? Like, I didn't know any of that stuff. So I had to hire an accountant. I had to hire a lawyer. Like, you know, and it's just, there's so much stuff that you don't know. And so like the first couple years of me doing this for a living, like I felt like I spent more time trying to learn how to run a business than I did learning skills that would help me fishing. This fish here ain't gonna learn to not bite a bait with a hook in it, is he? Yeah, he's got it. We done hooked up again. We just dropped it back down. Now this one's hooked up. We're doubled up. One of you grab that other rod over there. Grab that other rod before he comes off. I can't get y'all to do nothing. You just gonna sit here and watch me fumble around with 2 fish when you could pick up this rod. I know you could. Come on, fish. We gotta get you going. We gotta get both of you going so we can get more baits down there and do it again. We sort through enough of these small ones, maybe we'll eventually have a big one come through here. It has been, boy, this one here, though, tiny. But this fish, if we were using the heavier gear and bigger hooks and all that, this fish wouldn't get hooked up. but he would still bite the bait. He'd still rip the bait off a hook or chew it up. We wouldn't reel him in. But today, the gear we're using, we end up getting an extra catch out of it. Let's send that bait back down. I don't think it's going to matter at this point. I think they're going to hit it again. And we'll get his friend over here, get him going. But yeah, man, my first couple years, I'm like, gosh, this is hard. Like, you just have to learn all this stuff on the fly and hire people and it's just, it's a little bit overwhelming, honestly. Not the fishing part, not the actual making video part, it's all the other stuff. Is that right? Fish, you don't know how lucky you are to not pay taxes. Dang fish. Their barter system down there where they trade shad and stuff for goods and services, it works out because they don't have to pay taxes. Taxes, man. Everybody talks about your home being the biggest expense of your lifetime, but I beg to differ. Because I've already paid more in taxes than what I've ever spent on my home. Taxes are the biggest expense of our lifetime. Not just from income tax, but all the other taxes too. Property tax, sales tax, gas tax. My city's got a rain tax. A tax, she calls it rains. Like I said, we just get taxed on everything. It's the biggest expense of your lifetime. So you want to reduce the amount of taxes you have to pay as much as possible. And when you're running a business, on one hand, you get to claim everything. Like, when I bought this kayak, that becomes a tax write-off. Fishing gear, tax write-off. Camera gear, tax write-off. Now when you hear a tax write-off, it's another one of the things I was ignorant about. I always thought, well, if you get to write it off your taxes, it's free. Well, that ain't the case. You still got to pay for it. I bought this kayak, I had to pay for it. But what it does do, when you write it off, quote unquote, it comes off your income. So let's say you're a 1099 person. You're doing something like YouTube, you get 1099. Or maybe you're self-employed and you got to turn in your sales or whatever. When you have something that's a business expense and you're able to write it off, let's say you've got, I just make up a number to keep it simple. Let's say you've got $10,000 that YouTube paid you this year. So $10,000 on your 1099 form that you owe taxes on. You owe taxes on that $10,000 amount. But you've got $2,000 in write-offs, business expenses. Well, instead of paying taxes on that $10,000, you're going to subtract your write-offs from your income there. So you'd only, in this case, so you got $2,000 in write-offs, you would only pay taxes on $8,000. So you still paid the money, you still spent the $2,000 on the business expenses, but it comes off of your income, so you pay less taxes. So in a way, you kind of get whatever your tax rate is. Let's say you pay 25%, 30%, whatever your tax bracket is. Anything you buy business related, you kind of, we got another fish on right here. Has he got it? He's got it. He's got it. We got another one. But you kind of look at it like you still got to pay for the product, but you kind of getting a discount, whatever your tax amount is. So if you're a 25% tax bracket, anything you buy is basically like getting it 25% off when it's said and done. That's kind of how I look at it. And you got a lot of other stuff you can write off too when you have a business. Like part of your, well, like my office there at the house, it's a bedroom. It's a spare bedroom I've turned into an office. But you get to claim part of that because you got to have an office, right, as a business. And like doing YouTube, cell phone, very important for my business. Internet, very important. Couldn't do this without it. Like those kind of things. Now, things that you would be spending money on anyway, now you get to claim part of because they're part of your business too. Like your business, I couldn't do this YouTube. I couldn't do it without my cell phone or internet. Like you got to have those things. Those are necessities. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just the taxes, man. and it's fresh on my mind right now because I got an appointment coming up with my accountant here next week or the week after. I got to drop everything off, and so I've been getting all that stuff together. I try to stay proactive on it. Like usually about once every week or two, I will sit down and do my books, which is another one of those things you got to learn. I had never had to, I mean, yeah, I balanced my checkbook and stuff, but like I never had to make like a spreadsheet of business expenses and mileage log and all that for, like I just never done that stuff before. So I've got everything done and printed off for the accountant. So we'll go drop that crap off in a week or two whenever my appointment is there and wait on the bad news when he calls. It ain't never good news, that's for damn sure. It ain't never good news in this situation. I pay my quarterlies, but the thing about YouTube is it's never consistent. You might have a video well, look at this. I'll tell you what is consistent, the bite we're getting today. We already hooked up. We just dropped this back down. We're already hooked up again. I mean, it's just literally, we can't get a break, man. This is awesome. The quality has been subpar, but man, I mean, it is just, they are in here thick right now, man. Come here, fish. You got all wrapped up, didn't you? This is another one that is just, his belly's swole for his size. Look at that. Look how fat he is for his size. Yeah, y'all don't give a damn about taxes and such, but it's unfortunately, it's just a way of life here in America. I don't know if it's like this all over the world. I'm sure some countries probably pay more taxes, some less. But boy, it feels like we pay a lot of taxes here. I mean, when you lose 35% of your income right off the top, and then you go to the store and you lose another 9%, which is what we pay here. And where I live, sales tax 9%, 9.25%, something like that. It's just, they pound you, man. They absolutely pound. I ain't telling you nothing you don't know. You deal with it too. But you get taxed off right off the top. When you get paid, you go to the store, you get taxed again. If you own your house, they're going to send you a property tax bill every year. You go to the gas pump, fill up your car, you're going to pay tax on that. We're fortunate here in Tennessee, where I live, when you go to renew your car tags, it's $29. But you go to some other states, like you go to North Carolina, for instance, right across the border, other side of the mountains over here, well, they're gonna charge you every year to get your car tags. It's gonna be based on the value of your car. is how much you're going to pay. So you might pay a few $100 possibly to get your car tags over. Like, it's one thing after another, man. I don't know what the solution is. It don't really matter what the solution is. Even if there was a solution, ain't nothing going to be done about it. Once they've raised, they're all the time willing to raise taxes. Nobody ever lowers taxes. Never. I don't think taxes have ever been lowered in my lifetime. At any point. It just goes up and up and up. And it seems like we get less and less for it. Like, there's some things we need. We need school system. We need health care. We need functioning roads. Like, there's things that, as society, we all need, that we all use, and we should all chip in and pay for. I don't have a problem necessarily with paying a tax so that we all have those things. What I have a problem with is the fact that we pay the amount of taxes that we do, and all of the services I just mentioned are complete shit everywhere you go. The public school systems suck. You look at all these rankings that come out, America's behind damn near every country. We get dumber with each generation. The roads, I don't care if you're driving here in Tennessee or anywhere in the country, the roads absolutely suck everywhere you go. Healthcare is pretty terrible. I mean, yeah, Medicare. If you're over age 65, you own Medicare. I guess it's a good deal from the fact you don't really have to pay. But the healthcare system here in America is broken. We're a terribly unhealthy country because the healthcare sucks. Now listen, as a nurse, I used to work in it. I've seen it firsthand. The healthcare system sucks. So for the amount of money we pay for what we get, it ain't a good deal. And then our tax money goes to do all this stuff overseas that, you know, and I don't want to get too political on here, but honestly, it ain't our problem. And I hate to be that way. Obviously, you want to, as somebody who tries to be a good human being, you want to help out other human beings. But it's like the old saying there when you own an airplane. This fish here, he ain't never been on no airplane. He's gonna maybe see an airplane when we bring him up here to the surface, though. Maybe there'll be one flying over. He'll see his first airplane today. But what I was about to say, like, when you're on an airplane and they're doing their whole safety spiel, and they're like, in the event of emergency, the oxygen mask will fall from the ceiling. Put your mask on first before helping your neighbor. You got to help yourself out first. And that's how it should be here in America too. When all of our problems are fixed, when the roads are fixed, when the school's fixed, when the healthcare system's fixed, when people that lost their homes to Hurricane Katrina, I mean, how long ago was that? 20 plus years ago? People still haven't recovered down there in Louisiana from that. When you fix everything here at the house and we got money left over, well then, sure, let's help our neighbors then. But why are we helping our neighbors before we help ourselves? Why is there so many people suffering right here in America? American citizens. They can't get any help, can't get any resources, but yet we got all this money for all these wars that we shouldn't even be a part of. Like, that's the kind of thing that just, I try not to think about it because it pisses me off. Every time I go and write that damn quarterly tax payment, it just pisses me off. Like, where's that money going? You know, driving down here today to fish, I hit about 15 different potholes on the road. We couldn't get them fixed, but yet we're going to rebuild Iraq and Afghanistan. It just pisses me off. But what can you do? It don't matter. It don't matter what politicians you elect. You can't get shit done. They're all bad. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. They can't fix. None of them can fix anything. None of them want to fix anything. So it's the life we live, man. It's the life we live. And they say, well, Justin, you don't like it, move. Well, maybe someday. Maybe someday. I ain't gonna lie. I don't have any. Look, I like where I live. I like Florida a little better in the winter, but I like where I live. It's a good area. It's a good climate. There's things I enjoy. I like it. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I have watched videos, YouTube videos on these people who, American citizens who move to other countries and live like kings on far less money. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, that's appealing. There's some appeal to that. Some of them, here in America, there's a superiority complex. Like, we seem to think that we're better than everybody. America's better than any other country. And sure, there's a lot of countries that we do have it better as American citizens than what the citizens of other countries have, for sure. But are we number one? I don't know. And if we are number one, are we number one by a lot in all categories? Nah, I doubt it. And what categories are important to you? If you have kids, well, education's probably important. If you have a chronic illness of some kind, well, healthcare is probably important. Are you getting the best healthcare here? Are you getting the best value here? Like, you know, each individual person's different on what's most important to you. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people live down there along the border, goes into Mexico to get their medicines, to get their medical care. You know, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know how you fix it. I really don't. The amount of money we pay in taxes as American citizens, though, we should have the best in everything. When you look at the number of people here in this country and the percentage of income we give up for taxes, we should have the best school system, the best health care, the best roads, like the cheapest gas prices. Like, why the hell I mean, granted, gas prices have come down a lot. But it ain't what it used to be. Man, when I first got my license when I was 16, gas is under $1 a gallon. I could fill up my car and go and eat a couple meals at McDonald's for $20. You can't do that. Hell, you can't even hardly eat McDonald's anymore for $20. Everything's going up. And I don't know, I mean, is it really, when things go up in, here's the question, and this is more of my ignorance here, because I'm not what's the word? I'm so damn ignorant, I don't even know the word. Economist? Is that the right word? Well, here's the question. When the price of goods goes up, does the actual price of the goods go up? Or does the value of the dollar that we're paying for those goods go down? Like, there was a big deal made this past year, the price of eggs went sky high, right? Did the egg prices really go up? Or was just our dollar buying less eggs than it used to? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. They keep printing more dollars, which makes them worth less, which I think is the whole appeal of the Bitcoin thing, right? Like, I don't understand Bitcoin. Bitcoin, the whole cryptocurrency thing, like on one hand, I feel like I missed out. I used to have, I never had Bitcoin. I had some Ethereum and some Doge, kind of like the speculative part of my investments. I had some. And it went up, and then it went down for, I don't know, like 2 years or whatever it was. I had lost money, and it finally got back up. I was profitable again. I went ahead and sold and got out. I didn't like the volatility of it. But it's like, you look at those kind of things, like, man, if you'd got in early on that, boy, you'd be a gazillionaire right now. But the appeal, I think, of Bitcoin, even though I don't understand it, is the fact that there's, I think, 21 million. That's it. So it ain't like United States dollar that can be just printed infinitely, which degrades the value over time. And even things like gold and silver, your metals, there is a finite supply of those, but more is being mined all the time. Like, we don't really know for sure how much gold, how much silver, how much copper. We don't know how much of that stuff is actually here on planet Earth. We haven't extracted all of it. So there's more coming into the pipeline all the time, whereas Bitcoin, there's 21 million, and that's it. At least that's what we've been told. And so, I just don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But with the government getting involved with Bitcoin and whatnot, it makes me trust it. Like, I don't trust anything the government's involved in. He's got it. Let's go ahead. I feel like we had a little break between fish there. I don't know how long. It was probably on a few minutes, but I feel like we had a little time there between the last fish and this one. Almost had me thinking about my toe again. I'm gonna need you fish to bite more frequently. My toe, man, it's just being in my boot's too tight. Like, it's not too bad. Like, when I'm at home and I'm barefooted, or even if I go outside and I had like flip-flops on, it's okay. It hurts, but like, it's okay. It's being cramped up in this boot that's just the pressure. This fish don't care. He ain't got no toe. He don't even know what a toe is, does he? This fish ain't got no fingers or toes. You're lucky fish from that aspect. If you don't have a toe, you can't drop a desk on it. Goodness gracious, that thing's in there good. I'm gonna have to get the pliers. It's the first one of the day. I don't even have my pliers out. All these fish caught, and it's the first one we've needed pliers on. There we go. Goodness gracious, he was hooked good. I didn't bend that hook, did I? No? Still looks pretty good. Let's see here. I think we need to get some more shad out. All them right there, kind of small. Let's get some little bit bigger ones out. Yeah, man, I don't know. My investments, I put my money, most of it, in VTSAX, which is the Vanguard Total Market Index Fund. Because here's what while I don't necessarily believe in the American government, I do believe in American business. I think American businesses will survive and thrive no matter what. Yeah, a lot of business is going to go out, but new businesses are going to take their place. And that's true no matter what happens with AI, technology, wars, etc. Like, American business, it will thrive. And so that's what I want my money in long term. And so regardless of inflation or currency or whatever else, you got to put your money in what you got confidence in. And I believe in American business. So that's what I do. VTSAX, Vanguard. I'm not a financial planner, so don't take your financial advice from me, but it's a total market index fund. The expense, a lot of the mutual funds, they bleed you to death in fees. The fees, I think it's like 0.04%. It's very minimal on the fees. So, that's my thought on it. I believe in American business. I think American business will win out no matter what, because people are adaptive, man. No matter what problems come up in life, there's going to be businesses that are built around solving those problems. If AI eliminates all the jobs on planet Earth, well, those companies are going to be pretty damn profitable. So I want to be invested in them, right? I mean, that's what I think wins out in the end, is American business. So anyway, y'all don't give a damn about all this. Y'all don't care about that. You don't care about my toe. You probably care about maybe a few of these fish today, though. That's what you tuned in for, if you're still around at this point in the video. And we've caught a bunch of them today. It's been a good morning out here. It's finally starting to be a little bit more tolerable in temperature, too. It was chilly when I got out here. And then I had about, somewhere between a half a mile to a mile to pedal. And I kind of started sweating a little bit on the pedal over here. This fish is going to be sweating. He gets reeled in. But then you get a little damp from sweating, and then you sit here in the cold and you get cold. So now that it's starting to warm up a little bit, I'm feeling better. Now I got so many layers on by the time, that one come free. But he left her bait on. Let's send it back down. By the time it really warms up to where I've got too many layers on, I'll done be gone. I probably ain't gonna fish another hour or so. I don't wanna, I got to get out of this damn boot, man. When your toe starts throbbing so damn much, it just, unfortunately, takes the fun out of it. That's kind of how it was for me yesterday. Like I got two fish, and then I sat there, and I wasn't catching nothing. And all I was thinking about was my toe. And it kind of ruined the trip for me. So if it was warm enough, I could wear flip-flops, you all would be disgusted by what my toe looks like, but I think I'd be okay. But at least I got my desk and everything. And I just redone that office maybe a year and a half or so ago. I bought a cheap desk on Amazon. And it looked good on the Amazon listing. But once I actually got it in the room there, I didn't like it as much. So I got another cheap desk on Amazon, and I like this one a lot better. And I've got these cube shelves. I think that's what they were called. Cubes? I don't know. They're like 5 foot tall, and they're 13 by 13 inch cubes is what it works out to. And that gives me a lot more space for my action figures, because I got way too many. Way too many figures. Let me tell you this story, though, folks. I actually had a good customer service experience the other day. Speaking of action figures, I bought some, and I had a good customer service experience. And it's crazy to think that this is how things are in this day and time, but like, how many times in life, just you yourself, your own personal day-to-day, you have a problem, you reach out to a business's customer service, And you walk away from that experience feeling better about the situation and the company you're dealing with. How often does that happen? Virtually never anymore. Never. I never have good, I mean, I told the story, one of these recent videos, about my wife buying that new washing machine at Lowe's. And what an ordeal that was. We got one on over here. He's swimming up under the kayak. Look at our line, man. It's way up under. I think he dropped it, though. Oh, crap. He had swam off with that bait and went up under the kayak. But we had a terrible experience with Lowe's. And we ended up, they were going to deliver the washing machine. Well, the ice storm was supposed to hit. And we didn't end up, actually, we had the frigid temperatures. We didn't get the ice at my house, but they had called her the day before and canceled because of the weather. I'm like, okay, I get it. Makes sense. Well, the following weekend, we got the snowstorm, and we actually did get snow at my house. We got like 4 inches. Well, I expected them to call the day before and cancel, right? Because they were supposed to come on Saturday, and it was going to start snowing Friday night. Well, wife gets home from work. I'm like, did Lowe's call? Hold on, we got another fish. This might be a little better one here. Yeah, maybe not. He sure was pulling hard, though. He's still pulling hard. This one's got some get up and go to him right here. He's still pulling, man. I don't think he's very big, but he's fighting like a Dickens down there. I see him there on the graph right there. I'm going to turn that off. Y'all cool with that? We ain't looking at it no way. We're just sitting here anchored. We know there's a ton of fish down there because we keep catching them. We don't need that thing on. The less I run it, the less often I have to charge the battery. Come here, fish. I got to tell these people about Lowe's. And then I'm going to tell them about a good experience I had. So anyway, Lowe's, I'm expecting them to cancel because of the snow coming. Well, wife gets home. I was like, did they call you? She's like, no. I think they're coming tomorrow between 8:30 and 12:30 or whatever the time frame was. Oh, we got another one on. We got to let this one go. This rod's taking off. we had this rod going down. Swim off there, fish. We may have to torpedo this one too. Let me get a hold of this. Here. Watch this. I didn't get him down. I need to two-hand him. Crap. Hopefully he'll go down. If not, we'll get him with the net here in a second. We got to just torpedo him. We got to get him down far enough in the water to get him to be able to swim back down. Yeah, come back over here, fish. We'll try it again with two hands. Your friend over here wanted some camera time too, though. All right, let's get him. Let me grab a net and get him. Where'd he go? Oh, come here, fish. I can't bend over on my toe like that. There we go. Okay. Okay. All right, let's try this one more time. I must have brought him up a little too quick. All right, I'm going to send him down nose first, but I'm going to try to. Yeah, let's see. I think he went down then. Oftentimes, if you can just get them down a couple feet, they will be able to go down. They'll get down far enough that they can swim back down. All right, let's land this one now. Come here, fish. So yeah, anyway, Lowe's didn't call that Friday, so my wife still thinks they're coming the next day. Well, we'll wake up and we got snow. I'm like, honey, there's no way they're coming. She's like, well, I don't know. But I mean, we were home anyway. It wasn't a huge deal because we weren't getting out in it. But you know, they never called. They never called to cancel or anything. They just didn't show up. Then on Monday, oh my gosh, this one can't go down either? Okay, there he goes. Then on Monday, they finally called to reschedule. So it ended up taking 3 weeks. to get that damn washing machine delivered. 3 weeks it took. Lowe's is terrible. I'm never going back to Lowe's again after all the nonsense we went through over that damn washing machine. But let me tell you about the good customer service experience I had. So, those of you that watch and listen to me regularly, you know I've been going through a midlife crisis for, well, going on 2 years now. And I've been reliving my childhood getting action figures. G.I. Joes, wrestling figures, specifically the WWE Superstars, the Walmart line. I really like those. And anyway, my wife, for Christmas, got me the new LJN figures. And those, when I was a kid, was the first wrestling figures I ever got. Some of you that grew up in the 80s will remember them, I'm sure. But they're like an 8-inch figure, just basically made out of rubber back in the day. They're plastic now. But anyway, they come back out with them. My wife got them for me for Christmas. I was fighting the urge. I wasn't going to do them. I don't have space for all these things. I wasn't going to get into that line of figures. But she bought them for me, and once I opened them and held them and smelled them, and it brought back all that nostalgia from being a kid, I was all in. So, there's a company, Matt Cardona, he's a wrestler, WWE. He owns a company called Collect Major, and he makes a line of figures called Big Rubber Guys, which are just like LJNs, but honestly a little better. They're better quality, more detailed, I should say. They're also more expensive, double the price. But I've gone down the rabbit hole now of these LJN style figures, so I'm looking around, and there's a company called Big Bad Toy Store. And Matt Cardona's company made, they've made 2 of, well, you know, when I was a kid, that's called the Road Warriors. Then they went to WWE or WWF at the time, and they became the Legion of Doom. But Hawk and Animal, tag team. Some of you probably remember them. They had the shoulder pads with the big spikes on them. I mean, they were awesome as a kid. Like, they were awesome. So, Big Bad Toy Store has a deal with Matt Cardona. They are the exclusive seller of the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal. And I always think of them as the Road Warriors because that's what they were when I was a kid. But the Legion of Doom version, when they were in the WWF, the black and the red shoulder pads, I'm partial to the black and red. Obviously, you can see the hat and my logo and stuff. Black and red looks good. And these figures look amazing. So I decided to splurge, and I bought the Legion of Doom set from Big Bad Toy Store. And I ordered the figures. They show up. I open them out of the box there. The first figure I pull out is the animal figure. And it looks amazing. I mean, the detail on this thing, folks, it is absolutely awesome. I'm like, this is great. This is worth every penny. Even though they cost more, like, this is worth every penny. Then I reach back down in the box. I pull out the Hawk figure. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. The paint's messed up on him. Like, I'm looking at him. On the top of the pants, it says Legion of Doom, right? The G in the word Legion's all messed up. It almost looks like it's been scratched off and then painted over, like a kid done it. And I'm like, man, has this figure been opened and been played with and damaged and then repainted? Like, that's weird. And I mean, it's in the package, but I look at the package and the package is damaged. Like, there's a crease in the cardboard on the back. And the way these Big Rubber Guy packages are, you can put the figures back in the packages. Like, it's not like, you know, a normal action figure. You've got the cardboard backing, a plastic housing for the figure, and then that plastic is glued onto the cardboard. Well, these figures aren't like that. The cardboard just slides out the back of the package. So you could, in theory, take a figure out of the package and put it back in and nobody would know. But between the paint being damaged on this and the cardboard having a big crease on it, I'm like, somebody's opened this thing. Like, this isn't new. So I'm pissed, obviously. I spent all this money on this figure and it shows up damaged. So I reach out to Big Bad Toy Store and I send them an email so that I could send pictures of what I was trying to explain, right? Easier to see versus just telling somebody over the phone. And I don't get an email back that day. I'm like, okay, well, it'll probably take a day or so. Next day goes by, still no email. Next day, still nothing. I'm like, are you kidding me? They send me a used, damaged toy action figure, and now they won't even respond to a damn email. So I call them. And the dude on the phone, he pulls my order number, as this fish is messing with bait. He pulls my order number. He says, I forget the girl's name, but he says this girl's working on it. She's going to call you here in a little bit. And at first I was kind of perturbed because I'm like, he's just passing the buck. You know, he's got me on the phone. He's got my order pulled up. Like, he could deal with this. Instead, I got to wait on this girl. So I'm a little irritated. Whatever. Well, that girl does actually email me later on that day. And she just wants me to clarify. She wants to know is the hawk figure that has the paint damage, is that also the figure that has the package damage? And I was like, yeah, it's all the same figure. And so that's what I need to know. Like, one, I need that return authorization number. But like, do I have to send back both figures of the set, or can we just do an exchange of we're going to exchange this fish. He's come off. He's only left the head bait on. Doggone, he stole her bait. One of you's called the law. So anyway, but that's why, like, I needed to know, like, can I just exchange one figure because I bought the set? Because they do sell the individual figures too, but like, who's going to buy one figure of a tag team, right? Like, you're going to get the whole set. So anyway, I clarified for her as she requested. And she emails me back shortly thereafter and says that she's sending out a new set of figures and I don't have to return the other ones. And at first, I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but I'm like, so she's sending me 2 new figures even though one of them was perfect condition. Like, everything was perfect about it. And I don't even have to return them. I'm like, that can't be right. Well, lo and behold, a few days go by. Package shows up at my door. I've got both figures from the set, and they're both in perfect condition. And I don't have to send back the other one. So now I've got 2 of the Legion of Doom. Well, the thing about these big rubber guys are, they only make so many. And then they're done with it. So the resale on like, you get on eBay, type in big rubber guys, man, the figures that have sold out at Matt Cardona's website there, the Collect Major website, man, they're ridiculously priced now. Like, if you don't get them when they first come out and they sell out, they instantly double in price on eBay. Like, I'd like to have the Rock and Roll Express. I'm not paying $200. You know, because I mean, it's crazy. So, well, here's what I'm going to do. Since I don't have to send back them other figures, I'm going to wait till they sell out at Big Bad Toy Store, and then I'm going to put them on eBay and jack up the price. Even with the paint damage, I think if you can't get any figures, like if they're sold out, I think I'll get a premium on it. I'll at least get my money back. So I'll basically get these for free when it's all said and done. But I was like, what great customer service. Now, and granted, it took them It took them a while to respond to my email. I was a little perturbed about that. But once they did, I'm like, man, because I thought it was going to be a battle. Like, getting the return, like, exchanging it out, like the figure that was damaged, like, am I going to have to cover shipping on that to send it back to them, or are they going to pay it? Like, you know, I thought that was going to be a battle because I didn't think I should have to pay that since they sent me a damaged figure. But I'm going to turn around and sell that thing, man, because somebody that's good with painting will be able to scrape that G off and do it right. But it looks like honestly a damn kid done it. I'm like, a kid took that thing out of the package, played with it, damaged the paint, and then tried to draw over it. Basically, it's what it looks like. But yeah, I'm going to end up basically getting those figures for free when it's said and done. So I was pretty excited about that. And the ones they sent, perfect condition. They look amazing. I can't speak highly enough about these. Man, I'm excited about it. But I got my new office there, them cubes and everything. I got everything set up. It's looking really, really good in there. Now, if I could only get some videos filmed and get back out on the water, get some videos filmed, I'd have a reason to spend more time there in the office admiring everything while I do the YouTube stuff. But yeah, those figures, man, I'm all in on them. The LJNs and the WWE Superstars. That's my number one. The Superstars are my number one. I can't get into the Elites and the Ultimates. That's what most people, the other nerds out there that collect action figures, that's what they're buying is the Ultimates and the Elites. I can't get into them. And thankfully I can't. I'm just not into them. But the Superstars are like the He-Man body style. I'm all in on those. And the LJNs, man, it's so much nostalgia from when I was a kid. Oh, they're amazing. I'm off the G.I. Joes, though. The G.I. Joe Classifieds. I had been into those. They look amazing. But I've had so many quality issues out of the G.I. Joes. Joints being loose. Chests so loose that they won't even stand up. I mean, right out of the package, brand new figure. And them G.I. Joes, man, they're $25 to $27 each. Like, they're not cheap. So when you open one up and it won't even stand up because it's right out of the package, it's just garbage. Like, the quality's terrible. And it's happened on so many of them. I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm not buying anymore. And I actually, while I was having my downtime between the cold weather and my tow, I sold all of the G.I. Joes I had bought. Not the ones from when I was a kid. I would never sell those. But the classified series, the 6-inch version, the new ones. I'd had them on a shelf in there too, been displaying them. I sold all of them. So I'm completely out of that now. The only things that I'm currently into, the LJNs and Superstars. And this is going to, honestly, I'm only into them because of the price. But I'm into the sketchbook series He-Man, Masters of the Universe. They're a Target exclusive. And they first come out last year. They come out initially with a 2-pack. It was Hordak and Grizzlor. And I thought, man, those look really good. But it was the $30 for the 2-pack. I'm like, I'm not paying that. I like them, but I don't like them that much. Well, apparently I was the only person that thought they were cool because nobody bought them. And Target clearanced them, 75% off. So I ended up getting them for like $8, like $4 a figure. And I'm like, man, if they clearance all of these that are coming out, I'm going to get them all. So the next one that come out was a Skyclone. And again, it looked cool, but it was $19.99. I'm like, I'm not paying $19.99 for that. I don't like it that much. Well, a little time goes by, nobody buys them. Target clearances it. I get it for a few bucks. Next one comes out, Spycore. Again, looks amazing, but it's $19.99. I'm like, I'm going to pump the brakes. I'm just going to ride it out. Well, what do you know? Target clearances it again. So the one that's currently out right now is He-Man, the sketchbook version of He-Man. And it looks really good too. Like, I want it. but I'm riding it out because I know here in another month or two, when it don't sell, Target's going to clearance it. I'm going to get it for a few bucks. So I'm into those. So Superstars, LJNs, and the Sketchbook He-Mans. But I mean, it don't take long, man. It don't take long to take up a lot of space on a shelf. Like initially I had one shelf in my office there, and all them Superstars figures was on my desk. I hardly had any workspace. So with the new setup, I have a lot more room, and I have room to grow as I get more figures, but I can't just buy everything. Both financially and storage space-wise, I can't buy everything. Like, I can only do so much. The one thing from my childhood that up to this point I've had no interest in has been Ninja Turtles. Now, as a kid, I still have. They're at my parents' house right now. But I had all the Ninja Turtles, man. Like, that was prime childhood for me. G.I. Joes and Ninja Turtles and wrestling figures. That was like my thing as a kid. But as an adult, when my midlife crisis started, I started getting into these toys again. Like, I got into the wrestling figures. I got into the G.I. Joes. I just couldn't get back into the Ninja Turtles, thankfully. God knows I don't need any of them. And I've done real good with it. But they just they had some toy convention thing up in New York, and where all these manufacturers get together, and they'll have a trade show, and they show you some of the new figures coming out in 2026. And I'll be damned if they haven't done a Ninja Turtle G.I. Joe crossover. Folks, look these figures up. Get on your Google after this video's done, of course. Don't do it right now. Don't click off the video to go look, but you know what I mean. Like, pull it up. Pull up the pictures of these things. They've taken Ninja Turtles, and they've made like G.I. Joe characters out of them. So like Master Shredder, the main bad guy there on Ninja Turtles, he's Cobra Commander. Destro is Krang. They've got a couple Dreadnoks, Buzzer and Ripper, as Bebop and Rocksteady. Storm Shadow is Slash, and then they've got some G.I. Joes, the good guys for the Ninja Turtles. They look freaking amazing, man. I may have to get them. I'll see them. I want to wait and see them in person when they come out before I commit to anything. It was kind of like that when the Thundercats He-Man crossover happened this past year. At first, I was like, oh, I'm going to totally be getting those, because I had Thundercats as a kid too. But then once I actually saw them in person, I was like, yeah. The Mum-Ra figure, the Mum-Ra Skeletor figure was pretty cool. That's one of the best looking figures probably of last year. But the rest of the Thundercats, I just couldn't get into it. And thankfully I couldn't. So I didn't end up buying those. So I'm hoping it's like that with the G.I. Joe Ninja Turtles. I'm hoping when I see them, I don't want them. But just based on the pictures I've seen, I may have to have all of them. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with them, but I may have to have all of them, man. So we're going to have to film some more videos so I can fund my midlife crisis here on these action figures, especially the big rubber guys. Like the Superstars figures, they're $20, which is outrageous for what they are. The Ninja Turtles will probably be somewhere between $10 and $20, which is, again, outrageous from what they used to be when I was a kid. But the big rubber guys, man, those are $50. So, like, there's some of them available now that I'd like to have, but because of the price and the amount of space they take up, like, I'm pumping the brakes on. I did pre-order Hillbilly Jim, because that was one I had as a kid. And they're coming out with one. The pre-order was in January for it. It's supposed to come out in June. That's when it's supposed to ship. But they've got an Andre the Giant on there right now, and a Ric Flair that looks pretty good. But I'm like, I'm going to pump the brakes. Just because of the price, man. I mean, they look good. They look better than the LJNs that Mattel is making. They're more detailed. But it's kind of like what we talked about earlier with the manufacturing and stuff, and how like you have to buy, the more products you buy from the manufacturer, the cheaper the price you get from them. Well, when Mattel comes out, which is a big toy company, when they come out with these new LJN figures and they've got a deal from Target, they can manufacture these things by the hundreds of thousands, which brings their cost down. Matt Cardona with his company, Big Rubber Guys, like, he can't take on that kind of expense, right, for a figure that may not sell. So he's kind of got to like make a limited number of those figures, which is going to cause the cost to go up. And he's still got to turn a profit on it too. So cost ends up being double of what the Mattel figures are. But they do look damn good, man. My channel member, I'll end up doing I need to do that. I need to show my channel members. My channel members kind of get behind the scenes stuff. I need to do a walkthrough of my office and show off my figs and stuff. I don't know what it is about my midlife crisis that got me into action figures, reliving my childhood. I'm not really playing with them. I try, but I can't. I don't have the imagination anymore like I did when I was a kid, but I just enjoy getting them and opening them and displaying them. It brings me happiness to do that. And I don't know why. I'm glad it's something cheaper. Now, granted, these action figures aren't cheap, but like a lot of people my age, something clicks in them like it did with me with the toys, but they'll go buy a convertible and leave their wife for a younger woman and stuff, and they go through an expensive divorce and expensive car payment. Thankfully, I haven't had that going on, just the toys. And my wife she's an enabler, really. I mean, I wasn't going to do the LJNs. I wasn't going to do it. But she bought them for me for Christmas, and my birthday's coming up next month. She was going to buy me, I got to prop my foot up here, folks. Oh my God, my toe. Oh my gosh. The thing is throbbing in that boot. She was going to get me for my birthday the next wave of LJN figures that are coming out. It's Jesse the Body Ventura, Stone Cold Steve Austin, King Kong Bundy, and the Ultimate Warrior. Those are the next 4 that's coming out. And they put a pre-order up on Target website for them recently. But they apparently put the pre-order up at like 3:30 in the morning, and it was sold out by 6 o'clock in the morning. So she wasn't able to get them. But the first wave pre-orders sold out too. And then they all showed up in the stores. They're not in the stores now, like they sold out. But, we got another fish here. It's been a while. We've had to wait a little while on this, the longest break we've had out here this morning. But the pre-orders, even though and we just lost him. Even though the pre-orders sold out on the first one, there was enough of them in stores that we were able to, she was able to get me the whole set for Christmas there. So I'm sure it'll be the same way with Series 2. I don't like the exclusives. Like these LJN figures, they're exclusive to Target. It's the only place you can get them. The WWE Superstars that I really like, they're exclusive to Walmart. And Target seems to be a little better than Walmart, but like Walmart's distribution is terrible. Like some of this series have been hard to find. Like I've went all over. I think it was series 13 or 14, whichever one had Jake the Snake. I went to so many Walmarts. I found Jake the Snake one time. I never found the Chase edition, which is the more rare version. But I only found that figure one time, and thankfully I found him. I'd had to pay a premium for him, because I mean, I got to have Jake the Snake. It was like that with Bret Hart last year too, man, the Bret Hart series. I found him in one store. I went to, gosh, I don't know how many Walmarts and how many different times I went looking. Found it one time. So I hope they get their distribution straightened out, but I mean, we're currently waiting on Series 16 to hit the store. They haven't figured it out in 16 series of these things, so I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get it straightened out or not, but I love those things, man. Those are my favorite figures by a mile. Like, if I could only collect one, those would be the ones. They're amazing. I don't know why. I don't know why I like those. Everybody else, all the other nerds, they like the ultimates and the elites. That's the line that they're called. And they're a lot more detailed. They're kind of like the G.I. Joe classifieds. They're like 6 or 7 inches. A lot of articulation. They come with extra heads and extra hands and stuff, so you can pose them in a lot of different ways. But there's something about that simple kind of Masters of the Universe body style. It's nostalgic. It's just, I don't know. If they had those kind of figures when I was a kid, I mean, I had He-Man, obviously, when I was real little. But if they had those wrestling figures when I was a kid, man, the fun I would have had. Because I had the LJNs first. Those were the first ones. I don't remember how old I was. It's one of my earliest memories, though, of waking up on Christmas morning. I had the ring and all the figures lined up around the ring. Santa had got it for me. And then, I don't remember how old I was. I was probably 3 or 4 years old when I got the LJNs. But then when I was probably like 7 or 8, the Hasbro wrestling figures come out. And those are real popular today too. They're called retro figures now, but the Mattel makes them, and a lot of the independent companies make them of wrestlers that aren't under like WWE Legends contracts. They're pretty popular now, and I had them as a kid and loved them as a kid, but that's another one that I haven't gotten into as an adult. And then after that, the Jakks Pacific brand of wrestling figures comes out. Well, and in between there was Galoob that made the WCW figures as well. They were like a miniature LJN style figure. I had those as a kid too. And then the Jakks Pacific come out, and they were a little bit bigger than the He-Man Masters of the Universe, but didn't have the articulation that the current Ultimate lines have. But I had a few. That was like the very tail end of my childhood when those come out. But boy, my second childhood here as a middle-aged man, it's going strong. I don't know the average lifespan of a midlife crisis, but I'm soaking up every minute of my midlife crisis, man. Every daggone minute. It's just something about opening up one of those figures. The experience of opening it up. It doesn't take long to open a figure, but while you're doing it, man, you're a kid again. For that moment in time, there's no bills, there's no stress, there's no health problem. I'm not thinking about my damn toe throbbing in the boot. I'm just opening that action figure. For that moment in time, I'm 5 years old again. Not a care in the world, just the excitement of that figure. And when you hold it in your hands, and like the LJN figures, when you smell them, like they have that smell, which is probably like toxic paint fumes, but still, it's the smell. Like it just takes you back in time. And it's so worth it. This fish ain't gonna be worth it though. At least not for, oh, well. It's worth it for him because he got off. But we've missed, 2 in a row now we've missed. Bite's definitely slacking off as that sun's getting higher in the sky. I'm gonna give it another 30 minutes or so probably. We'll try to get a few more fish if we can. I'm definitely gonna be out of here within an hour though. Probably my foot's just, we've reached that point in time. Maybe it's cause the bite has slowed down maybe. I'm able to focus on that toe a little more. Yeah, I'm ready to get out of this boot. It might be broke. I don't know. I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't go. I mean, even if it is broke, I ain't gonna do a damn thing for it. They're gonna put me in a boots all that I ain't gonna wear. So it's just gonna take time. It'll take a little time, heal up. The cut. So when I drop that desk on it, the full weight of the desk didn't hit the toe. The desk I had was like a L shape because I had it in the corner. And you had a piece here and a piece here, and then this part had shelves. Well, I was undoing the desk so I could take it outside, like haul it off. And I was undoing the two parts, and when I was loosening the screws, it fell straight down on the toe. So I had a big cut on the top of my toe. And it's I could have probably used some stitches, but I wasn't going to go to a damn doctor. It's about healed up. But boy, it's still it's just tender as hell. It throbs when it's confined like this. And like I said, if I'm laying, I don't like having anything on it. Like putting the sock on is miserable. Having any weight like coming down on my toe, like this is my toe, like just the sheets, man, pressing down on that, boy, it's miserable. I'm a side sleeper anyway, but still, like when you roll in bed, I have to be real careful. But I mean, like some stuff, like pedaling today, and maybe it's because I'm pedaling more with like the bottom of my foot, my toes up. That's not really, the pedaling motion's not irritating it anymore. I can walk okay. I mean, the first few days I was hobbling around, limping a little bit. But I mean, I'm walking okay on it. It's just the pressure of the boot and then anything on the tip. I don't know. Maybe I got a little fracture in it, but like I said, it don't matter. Can't do nothing for it. So just time. Take time, and when I'm home, try to keep it up, keep it propped up, elevated. Do I dare pick up on this rod? Okay, I think we got this one hooked up. No, I spoke too soon. He stole our bait. Call the law. One of yous right now. Call the police. I can't stand a cop, but we need to call one and report that fish for theft. He done robbed us blind. Let me grab a more shad here. Actually, these smaller shad, go ahead and throw them out there. Chum the water a little bit. One thing I need to do soon is wash this kayak. This thing is a mess. It's got mud, shad scales everywhere on this thing. Fortunately, one of the perks of this kayak is it's very easy to clean. This paddleboard style is simple to wash, and the whole material is it's a slick plastic. So it I just spray it and rub it down with a sponge, basically. Some of the Rotom, like my Hobie Pro Angler kayak, it's a roto-molded plastic. And dirt kind of gets down in it a little. Like you got to put some elbow grease into it. Like you got to scrub it to get it clean. But this, I can do this in about 5 minutes. I ain't done it lately because it's been so cold, but hell, I might could do it this afternoon. It warms up. I'll go home and prop my foot up for a little while, let it breathe a little bit, and then maybe this afternoon I'll get out and hose this thing off. Be a good day for it, baby. Oh, man. Okay. What else has been going on, folks? I'll tell you this. While I've been home, aside from admiring my action figures, I have been playing, and I've told you all this before, but I've been playing a lot of Nintendo. Only one game, though. Mario Kart. I have another game. I got WWE 2K25, I think it's called. I just can't get into it. It's very difficult. Like, it's hard. And I don't like things that are hard. Mario Kart is hard too, but it's simple to play. It's simple to play, but hard to get good at. WWE game is hard to play, and even harder to get good at. But Mario Kart, man, like I feel like I've gotten a lot better at it, but I still get beat all the time. But I've been playing a lot. I mean, I've probably, this is embarrassing to say. I bet you I have averaged, I've been stuck at home between the cold and my toe, probably 2 to 3 hours a day playing Mario Kart. Like, it's a problem, man. Now, it's not really a problem like the wrestling figures. I mean, the wrestling figures are an ongoing financial burden, right? Because I keep buying them damn things. The Nintendo was a one-time expense. And in the game, I can just keep playing the same game over and over. Oh, this left rod got hit. Reach down there. I want one of y'all to grab that thing. Because every time I pick up anymore, I just pull the hook out. I just done it again. We just having some bad luck all of a sudden. Keeping these fish hooked up. Let's go ahead. He took one of the baits. Let's go ahead and just cut this other shad here we got. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of it. So if you play Mario Kart, especially if you play in the evenings, you've probably played against me. I play, so there's a couple different options on, well, I think there's multiple options, but the two I play the regular races a little bit, and I play the knockout tour quite a bit. So the way the knockout tour is, you start with 24 players. I play online against people. But you start with 24 people, and your goal is to not be in the bottom 4. So there's like 6 stages to these races, and it'll pick a track at random. But the first stage, the top 20 move on. Second stage, top 16, then top 8, then top 4 go into the final stage. That one I really like. In the regular races, everybody races till the end, but the courses are different. And so I'm better at the knockout tour. My player rating is higher on the knockout tour than the other one. Probably because I play it more, but I'm still, so when you first create an account on Mario Kart there, you start out at 3,000. I don't know why 3,000, but that's just what you start at. And then as you compete in these races, you will either add points to your score or lose points based on how you finish. And so the really good players, I mean, like really good. They're above 9,000. Like I played against one guy, he had a 9,400 rating. That one's a better takedown. Maybe this one will stay buttoned. This fish here, I guarantee he's never played Mario Kart before. I bet you he's never played it one time in his life. I should have brought the Nintendo out here so this fish could play, just so he could experience it one time. You think he ain't got no fingers though. How you gonna operate a controller with no thumbs, fish? You can't do it. I just broke this fish's heart. I teased him with it. Now he realizes he can't play Mario Kart. You at least got a free meal out of me. You've ate that head bait or thrown it off one. Come on up in here. It's nice to actually land a fish here. We lost a bunch of your friends down there. We did. They were just stealing the bait from us. He can't believe it. He can't believe his friends would do that. Tell you what, fish, next time me and you hook up, I'm going to let you at least watch me play Mario Kart. Is that a deal? He said that's a deal. He said that's a bargain. He'll take it. But yes, anyway, you start out with 3,000. The better you do, the more points you get, et cetera, et cetera. And then the really good players are above 9,000. Now, me personally, I fluctuate. I am usually running somewhere between on the knockout tour anyway, somewhere between 7,800 and the highest I got up to was like 8,200. But I just can't get past that. Like that seems to be my peak. So it's hard because like when you get above 8,000 for sure, and you have a race where you just do terribly, like you get hit with a bunch of stuff and you do very poorly, or God forbid your internet goes out or something. That's happened a couple times. It'll pop up and say like communication error and you get knocked out of the race, like mid-race. Boy, you get hammered. You lose a bunch of points doing that. And then when you're above 8,000 and you do good, you win a race, you get like 10 points. Like it's like, and part of it, I don't know how they do the points, like how they determine, but it seems like when you're playing against other really good players, you'll get more. So it's kind of weighted like that, but nevertheless, I'm between 7,800 and 8,200 on the knockout tour. And the regular races, I'm like between 7,500 and 7,800 usually. So it's fun. It's frustrating sometimes, but it's fun. I bought that Nintendo before our wedding because I knew we were going to have, we was going to be stuck on an airplane and whatnot. And I'd kind of been thinking about getting one anyway. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I'm glad I did. Like it's occupied a lot of my time through the winter. I don't know how much I'll play it once we get on into spring and summer and I'm doing more stuff outside and more active and whatnot. But for the winter, it's been great. Some other people I know have talked about that Arc Raiders game, which it's not available on Nintendo. I looked it up. You can't play it on there. They play it on Xbox and like PlayStation and stuff, which I don't have those. But I have an old Xbox from like 20 years ago that I still have that's pretty much just used as a DVD player now because I don't play any games or anything on it. But to play these new games, I think I would need a new Xbox. But I don't know if I could get into that or not because they look complicated. It's kind of like the WWE game on the Nintendo. It's just, you have to push a lot of the button combinations. Like with Mario Kart, it really ain't like, you hold down, I can't remember what letter button it is. If I had to control it, it's just natural. You push down the button for the gas, you push a button to fire whatever weapons you get, You hold another button for braking, like when you're drifting around the curves and stuff. But that's it. It's simple. It doesn't take long. Like, you can go from never playing the game to playing it in 5 minutes. And, like, you know, I mean, it takes a while. Like, it takes a lot of practice learning the tracks and stuff where you can take the shortcuts and all that. But, like, just the basic controls of the game, it's simple to pick up on. And I like simple. But I just can't get over the hump, man. I don't think I'm ever going to be one of those players that can get a 9,000 player rating. I just can't. I can't get there. And I don't even know how I would feel about myself if I did get there. What a nerd I would be. I mean, it's bad enough I'm already a nerd with these action figures. But to be a video game nerd too, what have I turned into? 5 years ago, I would have never considered purchasing an action figure or playing a video game. And look at me now. Never say never in life, folks. Never say never. You don't know what life has in store for you. What you're going to evolve into. We're always changing. We're always growing. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, but life keeps moving, folks. What you like today, hopefully you'll like tomorrow. Fishing's been something that's been constant forever for me. I mean, pretty much feels like. But other things come and go. This fish is going to come and go after he gets him a free meal here, ain't he? We've got another one. It's definitely, I mean, it's not, these last 30 minutes to an hour here hasn't been like the first hour. And I blame that just because we're getting around lunchtime here now. That sun's right above us. And of course, we've let some of these fish go. There's water. I mean, this is kind of like what we talked about. One of the things I'm wanting to learn this year with the light tackle light. Does the clear water conditions make a difference on a fish's being reluctant to bite or not? And certainly when you're in clear water and the sun is directly overhead, you're going to be putting off a big shadow with your kayak. So they're going to see you more, and it's going to be the maximum visibility in the water. Another one there, it's plump for his size. There you go. So I don't know, man. It's one of the things we don't know. We're going to learn throughout this year. But if it does make a difference, then you would think with the clear water and the sun overhead, it is going to make for a tougher bite. But it also could just be that fish were active this morning, and that's how it oftentimes is during low light periods, morning and evening. You get fish that I've took advantage of that bite for years. It may have been that way this morning, even though we wasn't out here right at sunrise. I don't know what time the sun comes up, I guess 7:20, 7:30. We got set up around 8-ish, I think, so wasn't too much later after sunrise, but it was up in the sky. But that bite was good there we ain't got the quality today. That's the one thing we've lacked so far. We ain't got the big one. But boy, the numbers have been there. If we were out here stocking up fish for fish fry, we'd have had a cooler full today. Now, I ain't eating nothing out of this body of water, but still, you get the point though. I mean, the size. And on this light tackle, man, the fish we've got today have been fun. They can bend the rod over. I mean, if we were using the heavier gear, if we were using my normal setup, first off, we wouldn't have caught the number of fish we got today just because the bigger hooks would have eliminated a lot of the fish. We'd have got the bites, but we wouldn't have got as many hookups. But the lighter tackle not only allows you to catch those fish, but enjoy them a little more because of the size of the tackle. I mean, it's like when I go ultralight fishing. I don't care what I catch. I just want to catch a bunch of fish, because even when I'm using my ultralight rod, I catch a 5-inch bluegill. It's a good fight on that tackle that I use. And so what we're kind of doing with the lighter tackle on the catfish is we're just kind of, it's the same concept, right? It's just, if I'm using my ultralight rod and a 1-inch gulp minnow, I'm going to catch mostly bluegill, a few bass, crappie occasionally, and every once in a while I'm going to hook into a big drum or a carp or a larger bass or catfish and really get a battle, right? When you go catfishing with this lighter gear, man, at any moment the rod could be buried down with a 50-plus pound quality level fish, you know, like it could happen at any time. So I'm into it. Like I'm into it. That's about all I can say. Like when I left the house today, like I didn't even bring a heavier rod with me. Like, this is what I wanted to do today. And I'm glad we came here. I mean, hopefully we still will get a bigger fish, but like the other times that I fished here this winter, we've gotten some better quality fish and a lot of fish, and the numbers of fish are still here. So, yeah. I was talking my channel members video there, the last one I done of them. Of course, this was before the toe injury. But I was telling them, with the weather forecast how it is here, I don't know that I'm going to make it back down to Florida this winter. I had planned on going back at sometime in January, February. Well, January obviously didn't work out. And now here we are midway through February, and our weather here is looking good. But meanwhile, when we had that big cold snap here, it got cold all the way down there in Florida, and it was freezing all the way down to Miami. And I was seeing all these pictures on social media popping up of dead fish, a lot of those exotics and some of even the saltwater species. That rapid drop, it zapped them, it killed them. And I'm like, man, I don't know how that's affected everything down there. Like, do I want to make a trip? Do I want to drive 12 to 14 hours back down there? After all that, not knowing really what to expect. So I don't know that I'm going to get back down there. And of course now with my toe, like I don't want to be in a car. You know, I want to be able to prop this damn thing up. When I get home, the first thing I'm doing, I'm going to stop and get something to eat on the way home. And I'm going to the house and I'm propping this thing up for about 2 hours probably. So I don't know that I'm going to make it back to Florida this winter. Now, I'll be back down there in November, but that's forever away. We've got we own that timeshare down there now. The place that we've been staying in the Keys the last few years. Last year, the person we had been renting from put their weeks up for sale, so we bought 2 weeks around Thanksgiving down there. So we'll definitely be going back in November. But I don't know that I'm going to make it back here this winter. I may go to Alabama. When my toe gets healed up, I may go down to Alabama, poke around a little bit down there on Pickwick, because there's a tournament that I may or may not fish in March. It's the first event of the National Trail. Now, the National Trail this year, unfortunately, the sponsorships have dried up for it. So I'd reached out to the tournament director recently and asked him if he had gotten any more sponsor money, and he hadn't. So depending on how many people are planning on going, may not be worthwhile. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but these tournaments last year were averaging under 10 people. And if you get under 10 people now and you don't have the sponsor money thrown in, like even if you win, you're going to lose money on the trip. And if I'm going to lose money, like, I mean, you're always, when you go fish a tournament, there's a risk that you're going to lose your entry fee and hotel, gas, all that. Like there's a risk there. It's gambling, essentially. But if you win, you at least want to cover your trip. But if we don't have any sponsor money and 5 to 10 people are showing up for these tournaments, hell, you're almost guaranteed to lose money, even if you win. And so if I'm going to go somewhere and I know I'm going to lose money, oh, we got a fish, the rod's bent over. I'm looking the other way and I feel the kayak moving. We got another one. I mean, I'm looking over there on the other shoreline and I feel the kayak moving and glance over and the rod tip's buried. Oh, it's fun. I've enjoyed this today, y'all. It's been a fun day, even despite my toe. Come here, fish. Come here. Let's get hold of you. Come on. All right. Yeah, come here. But yeah, like if I'm to finish up what I was saying before you interrupted, fish, if I know I'm gonna lose money on a trip, I don't want to go down and fish somewhere for a tournament where that bait there looks good. Maybe we'll just put a piece of this up. Well, you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's put some of these small ones on here, maybe. Let's run a couple of these little tiny thread fins on there. Yeah, let's do that right there, since we already had those laid out. But like, yeah, you know, if I'm guaranteed of losing money either way, well, I would rather go somewhere during the week when you're not going to get all the boat traffic like you do on a weekend. And these tournaments are always on Saturday. And I like to go when the weather's going to be cooperative. And when you commit to a tournament, one, you're fishing the weekend, maximum boat traffic. And two, whatever the weather conditions are, you just deal with it because it's a tournament. But if I'm just going on a regular trip, and my schedule, I'm fortunate it's flexible with me doing this YouTube crap. Well, I'm going to look for a nice stretch of days of good weather, preferably weekdays, and then go. So I'm planning on fishing it, but there's no guarantee I'm going to. If it don't look like, and one of my channel members, Blaine, he's from Ohio, and so he's friends with a lot of the guys from Ohio that's kind of in his area there locally. And he had commented on my channel members video because the comments are off on these videos because the comment box is a mess. But on my channel members videos they're on, and he had commented, he thought there was, I can't remember now, but it was like 7 to 10 or something like that people that had already planned on going. So if that's the case, I'll probably go. And the weather's looking good, I'll go. But if it's going to come in less than that, or if the weather's not looking good, I'll probably just skip it. There's a new series in Ohio starting up this year that's got $2,000 added to every event, Kayakers. And it's just in the state of Ohio. Now, they've got a bunch of different bodies of water in the state and a bunch of tournaments, too. Like, their trail, it's basically about every 2 weeks there's a tournament with $2,000 added to each event. And at the end of the year, like if you qualify for the championship tournament at the end, and I haven't looked that closely at it, so I'm not sure what you have to do to qualify for the championship tournament. But I think there's like $7,500 added to it. And that's before entry fees. Like that's just money guaranteed in the pot before any entry fees get added into it. So, I mean, it's got a chance to have some pretty good payouts in it. But you're going to be competing not just against guys in kayaks. Bank anglers are allowed and boats are allowed. And, you know, normally I wouldn't be into that kind of thing, competing against boats, because it's such an advantage, but, oh, fish. The state of Ohio has regulations that you can only have 3 rods per person. So if a person is in a boat, they can only use 3 rods. So it's not as big of an advantage as what you know, other states that don't have those restrictions are. So I don't know, we'll see. I may go up there and fish some of those. I can't fish the whole trail. I can't make that many. I can't go to Ohio every 2 weeks. That's too far a drive for me to want to go up there every 2 weeks. And some of the bodies of water in Ohio, you know, they're more channel cat places. Like, I mean, I don't mind Sandusky Bay. Oh, we got one on the left rod. We got to let you go, fish. We got one on this one here. We got a double. But like Sandusky Bay, man, there's some huge channel cats in there. It's fun. They're huge, and there's a lot of them. You talk about fun. Take your light tackle rods to Sandusky Bay, man. You'd have a blast. But you know, some of the places that are channel cat lakes that don't have the quality that Sandusky has, I don't know that I'm all that interested in those. But I can't go every 2 weeks. I can't go to Ohio every 2 weeks anyway. So I can't fish the whole trail. But it would be nice to maybe fish a few of them and if possible, qualify for the championship tournament with all the extra money added. I got to look into that more and see what you actually have to do to have a chance at qualifying. I don't know if it's see you fish. I don't know if it's like a points thing where you got to qualify, or if you got to just fish a certain number of tournaments. Like I got to look more into that. I'm sure the rules are all on there and everything. I haven't researched it that much. The first tournament up there don't start until April, so plenty of time to look into all that. And plus, I'm sure assuming I do go to the tournament on the National Trail in Alabama, some of the Ohio guys will be down there, and I can just ask them and stuff. Let's drop this back down. I ain't gonna fish much longer, y'all. My toe, I wanna get this toe out of this boot sooner than later, but we'll fish a little while here anyway. We got all this bait. Don't want it to go to waste, but man, I tell you, one throw yesterday, if it was always that easy. There were just so many, but I don't know that, I mean, these bodies of water aren't that far apart, but definitely a shad kill going on up there on Loudon, where I was at yesterday. Here, maybe, maybe not. I ain't gonna go further back in this creek to see. When we get done here, I'm headed straight back to the car. I'll tell you another reason too. Well, it ain't really a reason. It's just a side perk of things that I've really enjoyed about this particular kayak. What have we got it wrapped around? There we go. The fact this thing is so lightweight. I don't need a trailer. And it's short enough. This thing's only 11 foot. So I also don't need a bed extender. I can just lay this thing in the back of the truck. I don't have to strain myself or risk a hernia. I don't have to add a bed extender on the truck. Throw it in the back, load and go. It's very simple, very fast. My other kayaks, are so damn heavy that you pretty much need a trailer and a boat ramp. Now, where I launched at here today is boat ramp. But I backed all the way down, dropped the kayak off the side of the water, and same thing when I go load up today. I'll pull the kayak up on the boat ramp, back down, load it in the truck, and go. It's nice, man. It's nice being able to go places without pulling the trailer, especially when you're driving through like Atlanta or big cities and stuff, especially when you go down to the beach down there in Florida. There's nowhere to park a trailer unless you use like a actual ramp in the intracoastal waterway or something like that if you're ever on the mainland, or there's some boat ramps down in the Keys, but boy, they charge you out the ass to use them. Being able to throw this thing in the back of the truck, not have the trailer, man, it makes it so much easier. I'm into this platform. I love it. This style of hole, I'm telling you, man, when you hook up to a big fish, it's just fun. All kayak fishing's fun, but like it's real fun. I love this thing. I had real concerns about it when I got it, and even before I got it, one of the things that prevented me from getting one sooner to try out was durability. Because it's styrofoam with a thin plastic shell of a hull, I'm like, man, I'm gonna bust that thing. But it's actually turned out to be more durable than I anticipated. Now, I did put a keel guard on the front first thing. So when I go sliding up on these concrete boat ramps and stuff, I'm not pounding that plastic into the asphalt. But this thing drafts so shallow that when I'm coming up on the bank, I usually just kind of glide in and turn sideways and then step out. So the kayak rarely touches the actual concrete. The only thing that really touches is when I'm pulling it up to put it in the truck, the back of it. But I've got skid plates on. Now, Hobie, and their infinite wisdom, the skid plates they put on this kayak that comes stock with it don't cover the back of the kayak. Like when you go to lift up the nose to put in your truck bed, the back of the kayak, the plastic, is going to be on the ground, on the asphalt. So I bought some aftermarket skid plates that cover the back of it. So when you lift it up there, it's the asphalt is hitting the skid plate and not the actual kayak. So there's that. But it really, this thing has been, I've had it, I got this in October of 2024. So a year and a few months that I've had it. I've used it a lot during that time in a variety of water, everything from small canals to Tennessee River out into the ocean. I mean, I've caught bluegill to sharks in this thing. I've could throw a cast net from it. Like, I can do pretty much anything in this kayak. It's just not as an efficient platform as a lot of the other kayaks on the market, from rigging to how it handles in the wind, choppy water. Days like today, no problems in this thing. You get out in some choppy conditions, you're going to take water over the bow. Now it drains out. There's nowhere for it to get inside the hole, but still, it's a wet ride in rougher water or windy conditions. So it's not a perfect platform, but boy, it's a lot of fun. And so I want to try to use this as my primary kayak this coming year. I got that little cheap off-brand motor for it when I'm making long runs or when I'm dragging. I built that box that I could put my live scope on and make it portable. So like yesterday when I went out to net the shad, now the shad was so thick I didn't need the live scope, but I didn't know it was going to be like that when I left the house. So I took it. But like yesterday, I put the live scope on. Today we don't need it. I take it off. Takes 2 seconds. Put that box on or off. So it's really nice to have options without being committed to any particular accessory. The only thing I have, well, even that's not permanently mounted, but like the rod holders, I got them Scotty bases down here, and those just go into the gear tracks, which that's plastic gear track now, so I don't like it. I keep my drags loose because of that. I got that, I got the cup holder, I got this graph mounted. I got a ram ball over here, I don't know if you can see it, mounted to the cup holder, and that's how I mount the graph. The wires then go from the graph here to this bag. My tool bag has my battery for the graph. It's just one of them little Naqua batteries. I'll show you here. It's about the size of a baseball. It's a 10 amp hour. There it is in my hand. A little bit bigger than a baseball maybe. I think it weighs a pound. But it's in that bag, and then the transducer wire, if you can see, it goes under the seat there. I can't feel, there it is. Down into the transducer slot, and then that transducer is up under the hull. It's protected with a cover there, so when you're coming up on the shore and stuff, it doesn't drag bottom at all. And that's the only thing that's permanently mounted on here. I got my camera mount there. It's a DIY job, just a ram ball, a selfie stick, and a piece of PVC zip tied to it. But that's it, man. Everything else is removable. This fish right here is removable. I'm going to remove a hook. Oh, well, apparently I ain't going to remove anything. He doesn't let it go. But like behind me here, I mounted these rod holders to the seat. They just clamp onto the seat. So if I don't have a crate with me, I still have rod holder storage. But I've got this crate and a small cooler today. Sometimes I'll take my live bait tank. I've got a little storage pouch here behind the seat. Like oh, well, Lord, we got a fish. I'm turned around backwards showing you stuff, and we got a fish on here. I can't tell if that's a boat or a kayak up here behind us. I guess it's a boat. Dude's standing up. But yeah, you know, this kayak, I've got it set up to where I can put on or take off anything that I might need. And so that helps keep it lightweight. Like some of the stuff, well, like other kayaks in the past, like my Hobie Pro Angler, like you mount stuff to it, and then it just becomes a permanent accessory, which adds to the weight and the hassle of getting it on and off the water. Like this platform, I can keep it as simple and basic, or fully rig it out if I need all the bells and whistles that particular day. So it gives me options while still keeping a lightweight platform, and I'm into it, man. We're going to make this work. The biggest question that I have is just for tournament fishing. That's where the rubber meets the road on some stuff, as far as maximum number of rods, having to carry that measuring board and stuff. Like, well, here comes the wind. The wind's supposed to be bad this afternoon. It just hit all of a sudden here. It's got to spun around every which way. We're going to be finishing up at a good time, apparently. We've had calm conditions out here all morning, and now it's about quitting time, and Mother Nature's decided to fire up, so that's perfect. But yeah, I'm hoping they continue making this thing. Hobie, I've told this before, and you all probably already know by now, but they got sold a couple times and finally got sold to Bass Pro a few months ago, and they've been in the process of moving the operation from Mexico, where everything was being made, back to the United States. I'm hoping they keep making this kayak. I don't know what the sales for it are. I don't think it's a very popular model. I haven't seen anybody else locally using one. there's been a couple other people I know that have got them, like my channel member Ryan that I fished with down in the Keys there on my trip. He said he bought the Lynx because of me, and he had one. He loves it. And Elias V Fishing YouTube channel, he ended up getting a Lynx, and he loves his. But beyond that, I don't really know anybody that uses this. So I don't really know. I don't know the sales on it and all that. So I don't know if it's going to be something that continues getting made or not. But I would hope that even if Hobie did discontinue it, or Bass Pro, if they were to discontinue it, I should be able. There was enough of them made the last few years that you should be able to find them in the used market for a while. And some other company would probably come out with something comparable style, I would assume, at some point. So, and who knows what'll come out too in the future. Like there's going to be a lot of other kayaks come out in the coming years, so maybe something better come along. I got to put my foot back up, y'all. Oh my gosh. Let's give it just a few more minutes. I'm going to get the hell out of here. I got to get out of this boot. Oh, I want to bend my toe, but every time I try to bend it, it touches in that boot. I just can't get comfortable. It's been a good day though, man. I'm glad to get out here, even though I can't sit here as comfortable as I'd like. It's been nice, really nice getting out here. Especially now it's warmed up a little bit. We've caught a bunch of fish today. Even though quality wasn't there today, just catching as many as we did, that's fun. And on the light tackle, like, I mean, if we had a day where we caught this many fish on the heavy tackle, this size of fish, like, it wouldn't have been as enjoyable. But on this gear, this number of fish, like, I've enjoyed it. I don't know if y'all have, but I've enjoyed it. If you've watched this long into the video, I hope you've got something out of it. I hope it's done something for you. I never know how many people watch to the end of these things. Probably not very many. My average watch time is really good on these videos. But I don't know how many people actually watch to the end. Like, my average percentage watch time is better on these longer unedited videos than they are on the shorter edited versions. Like, I would obviously expect the watch hours to be more on these because of the longer length of time, but the average view duration, percentage-wise, is better on these as well. So, and I enjoy doing this style of video more. It's not always possible with some of the styles of fishing I'm doing. Like, if I'm going out, let's say I'm dragging in this kayak and I'm using one rod and I'm using bigger baits, and I know I'm not going to catch a lot of fish. Like, we're going more for quality exclusively. Well, that's not really the best video to go unedited on, because you're going to have such a long period of time sometimes between bites. We may do it occasionally, but like it's more, for this style of video, I like to do days where I at least have the potential to catch a lot of fish or get frequent bites. Like my ultralight trips, the carp trips, when we're doing this style of fishing, catfishing, but set up in a place like this in a creek mouth where you're at some point during our session, we're probably going to get a flurry of activity. It may not be like it was today and be getting bites the whole trip, but at some point we're probably going to have a flurry where a school moves through. That's kind of more suited for this style. Days where you're trophy hunting and you might only get 2, 3, 4 bites total, like it's a bit more challenging on those trips to do this style. It's probably more suited for the shorter edited videos, but I prefer doing this. It's certainly better for me not having to edit, and it's better financially because these videos get more views and they're worth more. So I'd prefer to do this whenever I can. I think we got something going on this right rod here. We do. Will he stay buttoned though? Can we get him up? I'll tell you what, if we get this thing up, I think we're going to call him the last one. Because I really want to get my toe out of this dang boot, y'all. I just want to. In fact, I may drive home barefooted just so I can take this boot off. Yeah, we're gonna land this one. He's probably going to be about the same size as all the others, though, just eater size. But boy, they've been in here in good numbers today. How you feel about this fish? You feel pretty good about yourself being the last fish of the video? I think you would have had more people see you if you were the first fish of the video. So you're kind of late, but better late than never. He's got a big belly on him too for his size. There he goes. All right, y'all. Let's call it. I feel like we've been productive today. We've got a bunch of fish. We had a dang good morning out here, minus the throbbing toe. And we're at a good stopping point. So I'm gonna put that up. Let's reel this one up over here. One of y'all get them other shad right there for me, would you? We ain't got to put our camera mount down. We didn't have a single fish today that was front camera worthy, did we? Heck far. I don't know what to think about that. That's all right. Like I said, we had fun. That's the most important thing. All right, y'all. Well, hey, thanks for coming with me today. My toe will heal up soon. We'll be back putting out videos regularly again, especially when we get some better quality weather. And we'll hit it hard this year, man. Light tackle, going to do a lot of it. A lot of fishing out of this kayak. And there'll be some other stuff too. Some road trips. We'll get back down to the salt water again eventually. And yeah, it's going to be a good year. So thanks again for coming with me today. I'll see you next time.